What's up, guys, and welcome back to another week of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Long weekend, hopefully, for you, Memorial Day. I had an awesome weekend. Went up to my family's camp, hung out with my dad for his birthday, my mom, my wife, a couple of his friends. It was a real good time. Their camp is up in a place called Ripley, New York, and there is this place up there called Portage Pie Shop, and they make these pies, and this place was blowing me away. So it's just this little shanty town, and it's in Westfield in New York, and I don't know, I think it's just like a husband and a wife, maybe. It might be a family business, but you have to call ahead of time for these fucking pies. And you know what? They ain't cheap, I'll tell you that. $19 a piece. You're paying a $20 for these pies. They're big. They're definitely worth it, but, crazy money. We got, I think, like 3 pies for the weekend, and they were like, oh, yeah, $60. And I was like, geez, like, it's pretty insane to think about that, $20 a pie. But, you go to Giant Eagle, you get one for like 4 bones. But, man, they're so good. And I don't know. I just felt that it was relevant to bring that up. Went to another dope ass place. It was a winery up there. That whole area in Ripley, New York is like all wine country, and it's pretty cool to like drive by and see all the vineyards, not vineyards, but just like fields of like grapes and shit like that. It's just insane to see. But anyway, we got a new week, another week, episode 72. A lot of cool shit to talk about. First thing though, I'm watching this show. I always talk about these shows. I'm watching this show on HBO. It's called Chernobyl. If people don't know what Chernobyl is, Chernobyl was this nuclear power plant that exploded and caused mass chaos, like mass fucking chaos. I never knew anything about it. I've never paid attention to anything about it in school. Like, I remember maybe talking about it, but like, I don't remember like any details at all. But I mean, the only thing I remembered was like that whack ass horror movie where like they were like fake zombie type people. But yeah, this show is insane. I was passing it up because like I was just like, Chernobyl, like, it's not on like my top of the list to watch, but I started seeing like everyone in the world talk about this online, and I was like, fuck, we might be missing something out. And then I looked at like Rotten Tomatoes, and it had some crazy ass score, so I was like, all right, we'll try it out. So I talked to my wife, and I'm like, yo, there's a show called Chernobyl. And I was like, oh, she's probably not going to want to watch it because it's like some history type thing. And it turns out the motherfucker knows more about it than I could even imagine. Like, she's like, well, did you know about Chernobyl like back then and this? And I'm like, where did this even come from? She just started rattling off facts like she was a fucking historian. But she was like, oh, I really like science in high school, and just started rattling off these crazy facts. And it was like kind of mind blowing to me. So we are 3 episodes in, and it's 3 out of 5 total episodes, and it is insane. Basically, it's just all has to do with this like power plant like exploding and all this chaotic shit happening and people getting like severe radiation sickness or poisoning or whatever the hell it's called, and how they kind of dealt with it back in the day whenever it really happened. It's all true story. I mean, I'm sure this show might have some like embellished things in it, but it's definitely good, definitely worth watching. Another thing I'm really, really excited about. Coming up next, we got the Three Rivers Art Fest. I mean, not coming up next, like they're going to be fucking on here or something like that. But Three Rivers Art Fest, right down at the Point. It is something that they do every year. I think that I read somewhere this is going to be like, like the 50th year or some shit. It's 50, 60, but it's crazy. But it's basically a bunch of artists from, local area and all around come, and they have these booths, and it goes for a week long. I think it's like maybe the 5th through the 11th, or the 4th through the 11th. Yeah, 5th through the 11th. I don't know. Look it up, but it's called the Three Rivers Arts Festival, and it's always a dope place to go. You got all kinds of like bands and performances down there. You got all kinds of like food vendors, and you got all kinds of dope ass artists. I always go down every year and like try to just grab a piece for the wall, because I like to have a bunch of shit up in my house. You know what I mean? It looks nice on a wall. But Arts Fest coming up soon. I'm pumped about that. What else do I want to talk about? Fuck it. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Streets on Carson. You already know that. South Side in the city, Carson Street. Street foods from around the world, new menus up, ready to go. Stop down, tell them the podcast sent you. And also, shout out to Payne Glasses for my sunglasses and my glasses that they hooked me up with. I wore them sunglasses literally all weekend, and they were a game changer because it was sunny as fuck up there. But anyway, the reason that everyone's here, I got an awesome episode Man, it is raining like hell outside right now. Jeez, looks crazy out. But anyway, I got a great episode this week. This week, I talked to a dude named Nigel McDaniel. Nigel McDaniel is a young dude from the city who's just out there killing it. He is a personality / producer / utility guy. Like, he's just you could put him anywhere and he's going to help you out. But he works at WAMO. He does a podcast called the New Wave Podcast, and I've always like seen his shit on social media. I saw that he did a podcast. I saw that he was working at WAMO, and like he's always been on my radar. Like, just a young dude out there just getting it. You could tell that he's like he's just like a hustler. So like I hit him up. I was like, yo, dude, I listened to your podcast. I just love what you do. So come on in here and let's figure out where it all came from. I was curious about him. He's kind of in the same lane that I'm in, as far as like, he talks to dope people on podcasts and kind of figures them out a little bit. And I do the same thing. So like, I always wanted to know like where that passion came from. I wanted to know why he wanted to start a podcast. What are the reasons? I wanted to know how he got into radio, because like radio is definitely something that I've always like had interest in. But yeah, it's an awesome conversation. So without further ado, episode 72 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Nigel McDaniel.
Telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. I'll you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. If you're like a fan of someone, you listen to their interviews, and depending on who's interviewing them, that's not like how you learn a little bit more about them. You know what I mean? It's like, if someone's interviewing, they're usually not that long. Like yours are what, between like half hour and an hour?
Yeah, they rarely go over an hour. Usually they're about between 25 minutes, 35 minutes, give or take. Some are like 15, just some. Then some are like 45 to an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, the norm is like 30 minutes.
Now, it's like, I feel like, for me, like, I like more of an in-depth, like my shit is like long. It doesn't matter. It's kind of just like however it goes with that guest. Like, some guests are like an hour, some guests are like, a little bit more. But I mean, an hour-long conversation, you can get a little bit more in depth than just like a 20 minutes. Like, if you got someone like Hardo coming in for 20 minutes, like, you could talk about like, the shit that he's promoting right then and there. But like, I try to like get deep down and figure out like why people got into the avenue they got into. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, I definitely been checking out all your shit for a minute, and I like how, I like how it's like ran. You and Brennan, like yous work well together, and like I only interview one person at one time. I never have more than one guest. I just like to like get like real in depth with people and like figure them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah. Did we already start?
Yeah, I just roll shit.
Okay,
in,
period.
like,
all right, just so I can know. All right.
I like everyone always asks, like, they start already? It's just like, I never really like just tell people like, all right, we're gonna start now, because people are just like, all right, let me get like ready and shit like that. But if you just run it in the beginning, and just kind of like work into it.
Let's get into it.
How so like in the beginning, podcasts, like, I mean, 4 years ago, no one knew what a podcast was. Now everyone in the world has a podcast and knows about a podcast. It's like, what was your first exposure to it?
So my first exposure to a podcast was definitely to Bring Idiots, probably back in like 2014.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how society views podcasts right now, because like I got attached to podcasts probably 2014, going into 2015. I was listening to like 3 different podcasts every single week. So like now, like not even now, like maybe a year or 2 after that, maybe like 2016, like it was just the norm to me. So I'll be telling people about a podcast, this, or check out my podcast or whatever when I started it. And then people would be like, what's a podcast? I'm like, damn, like people don't know what a podcast
knew what it was.
So yeah, but my start was Bring Idiots with Charlemagne, Andrew Schultz, Rap Radar with Elliot and B Dot, Tax Season with Tax Stone, but he went to jail. I'm trying to think, those were the main three.
You like interviews though? Like if you find someone that you're a fan of, you usually go towards interviews with them?
You mean from me watching it?
Yeah, like if you're a fan of like either an artist or someone, like I usually will just go to their interviews. Like if they got a Breakfast Club interview, or if they're on like anyone's podcast, like I'll usually just listen to them, because like I said, if they're on if DJ Khaled's on Ellen DeGeneres about his new album that he's putting out, like you got 5 minutes to hear what he's promoting. Like you can't really get in depth of like where he's coming from. You know what I mean? So like it's different how different people like go about like executing all their shit.
Definitely, I definitely like an interview. So like my favorite interviews to watch was like Nipsey Hussle's. But every Nipsey Hussle interview wasn't the same. Like you just said, if you go to Breakfast Club or any radio station, like early morning radio, they're like kind of in and out because they got a show to do.
Yeah.
But like I watched this Rap Radar podcast. That's my favorite interview ever. Like it was like an hour and 30 minutes. He talked about everything. He got emotional at the end. He cried in the end. It was like a roller coaster. Like it was informative, educational.
I love that.
Yeah, like, and it was one of them interviews that like I found out things about him that I never found out any other. Because I hate when I watch an interview like, oh, I heard him say that already. Or I heard him talk about that. Oh, they're asking that question. Oh, I already know the answer. He's about to say this. So, but that one was like definitely my favorite one, because like I said, he just touched on, because he's my favorite rapper and everything, but he just touched on like so many things I never knew about. And I was like, damn, like I watched it twice. I watched it when it first came out in, I think it was like maybe late 2017 or something. I don't know. I might be a little wrong, but after he passed away, I took the time out just to watch it one more time, all the way straight through an hour and a half. And it hit me again like it did the first time, like, because I went like a year without watching it in between and whatnot. But so like to agree with you, a podcast, you could just get so far in depth.
Yes,
rather it's
for sure.
An interview. Like I hate when people be cutting people off or they're like explaining things like in the interviews and whatnot from radio stations. Like podcasts are the way to go as long as the conversation's like.
Yeah, you have to have someone to be able to like drive that car.
Yeah,
you know, some people are good at talking, but like some people, I mean, like I'm terrible at it. Like I try to get better at it with as far as like cutting people off and everything. You know, I don't have a template. I like prepare a little bit for I usually don't ever have a notebook with me, but like if it's people that are doing things that like I've had you on a radar for a minute, like I've been seeing you for a minute, so like I've had all these questions that that I would just think of, and I'll just write down in my notebook and shit like that, just for whenever I do get a chance to talk to people. And it's like if people are, if you have like the freedom of having like a no limit podcast, like no time limit whatsoever, you can just like you never know where you're gonna get down. So that's why like I don't have so many questions, because like if I ask you one question and you elaborate on it and go down one path, we could keep going down that path. It all depends on like how it's like flown and shit. But right. I do like how there's like all different like feel, emotion and shit like that on different episodes and stuff. Like sometimes you just never know what you're gonna get with people. Yeah. Like the Breakfast Club has to be like my favorite. Like I listen to like Breakfast Club, like Joe Rogan, like Mark Maron and all that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Did you listen to Joe Rogan? I ain't gonna say I just got hit, but maybe last year, so I guess that's still recent. But his podcasts are long. I saw he had Elon Musk on there. That was 2.5 hours.
He has 6-hour podcasts.
He had a 6-hour
Yeah, he does. I've been listening to him for almost a decade. Wow. Like back whenever he was in like the hundreds. So like I started a podcast 4.5 years ago. called the Pod Rats, and we started it in Pittsburgh, and there was no one doing podcasts. There was no one listening to podcasts. Like no one knew what it was. No one knew what podcasting was. So like we would live stream it, and then we would put it up for people to listen to, and we would only get like 20 listens because like, and usually it was only like your friends and shit like that who you're directly plugging it to.
Right.
But fast forward half a decade, you got like, my parents listen to podcasts, old ass people are listening to podcasts, and like there's something for everyone to consume. I mean, like literally any topic you want, sneakers, music, like movies, anything, just Google it and you have a podcast for it. And I think that it's definitely like it's kind of like taken over. It's kind of taken over like the media platform. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like I personally don't listen to like radio too much anymore, just because like I got a beat ass car, and I just I immediately put headphones in and just consume like my weekly like roster of podcasts that I listen to.
Yeah, me too. I definitely listen to podcasts in the car. Sometimes I don't feel like hearing music. Like I listen to Joe Budden podcast a lot. Like as a matter of fact,
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I'm about to go to DC Thursday to his live show. I bought some tickets. I've never been to a live podcast. We'll see how that goes and everything. But
That's what he has, his live podcast?
Yeah, he has live podcasts. He goes on little tours, like little spurts. So like it might be like a little 1 month. No, I'm not gonna say 1 month. Like because a 1 month tour, that's a lot of shows. So he probably goes like maybe like to a city and then another city. And maybe he might go to 3 cities at the most, and then they'll come back to New York and do their show. Do their weekly podcast week after week, and then I guess maybe like little 3 city spurts, maybe 4 city at the most.
Yeah,
probably. That's what he probably do.
There's a lot of people that do that now, as far as like trying to like monetize what they do. If you have like a big enough following, like, and you have any type of guest, you can kind of like get down to what it is. Like there's some like Rogan and all them. They always like do these live podcasts you can just go to, and it's basically just you sitting there and you're listening to people have a conversation. It's like a fucking TED Talk almost. But okay, so in the beginning, I forgot the last couple episodes, but I do an opening segment in the beginning called "What's in the Cup."
What's in the cup?
So what's in your cup?
Turner's tea.
And
I told you to bring it.
Turner's
And
tea.
you brought it.
He said I don't drink soda, but I'll take a Turner's tea.
Yep.
Turner's tea.
So like, the reason I told you to get the Turners, man, like, it's just like tradition.
That's
in
a Pittsburgh staple.
Yeah, like I remember growing up, I didn't even know it was only in Pittsburgh until like maybe recently, like maybe like 4 years ago for real.
Yeah.
And like it just got like a little bit of nostalgia. Like when I think of Turners, I think of like Steelers games, pizza, fries, you know what I'm saying? People come, not a lot of people, but maybe my cousin come through. We all go on the pizza, and we're going to get Turner's tea, you know what I'm saying? We're not going.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to get brisk, you know what I'm saying?
I'd have brisk tea.
Yeah, like a brisk tea would go with like Pizza Hut, you know what I'm saying? But a Turner's tea goes with like, your mom and pop handmade.
I'll be drinking water before brisk iced tea. So before we even get too deep into this, I'm curious, have you got a chance to listen to Igor yet?
To who?
Igor, Tyler, the Creator's album.
Only the first 3-4 songs, and I couldn't even really give a good analysis. How many songs is it, like 10?
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11. Are you a fan in the beginning of Tyler, the Creator? Like, were you a fan of his old shit?
I'm not a big fan. Like, I can't even name you his albums right now. Let me see. Igor,
There's
Cherry
like
Bomb.
that. There's like that Goblin. There's Flower Boy or whatever. Goblin was like that crazy one where he had that music video where he turned into a cockroach.
Yeah,
It was like super
that was
dark.
early on.
That was like his first shit,
2011 or something like that.
And then there's one called Wolf and stuff like that. But I just read an article that Tyler, the Creator, just got #1 album over DJ Khaled, which I thought was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, DJ Khaled's a wild dude. He's a very interesting dude. He just pops up out of nowhere and just collects checks.
As many features as he had on the album, he had the whole hip hop industry on it. And then like DJ Khaled, his connections in hip hop, whether it's like through record labels, music executives, A&Rs, like he's collected to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Radio, like that's kind of crazy that's hard to fathom, like how he didn't remain at #1. So what is it, like just hip hop category or one overall? Like
I think it's #1 overall, but I think it was just for this week. Who knows if we'll be there next week? But you would think that with like all of his people that he got on that album that like he would stay #1. But he's super interesting because I don't really understand it. Like I understand his legacy and like where he came from.
Khaled,
but like
I don't like his albums.
But like, what does he do really now? It's like he got a beat, and then you think he's really making beats?
No.
Like realistically, do you think he made the one beat with like Bieber and like Quavo and all that? It's like it's hard for me to believe that like Khaled's in the studio like making beats and shit like that.
It is hard. Like if an 8-year-old who doesn't know anything about hip hop asked me, hey, what does DJ Khaled do? It would be hard to like.
It'd be hard to describe, right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's not no.
My wife was like, so what is? Does he rap? And I was like, no. Like he might get on there and just say like we the best and shit like that, but like other than that, he kind of is just a playmaker. Like he's just like getting people together with his connections and everything.
Yeah, he just gets people together. I'm aligning this producer with this artist. But at the end of the day, like the alignments he does are never even like, wow, like damn, I see why they needed Khaled. Like it's really just like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
like,
you got Travis Scott and this producer because they're both hot. Cool.
Yeah,
right.
it's a weird thing, but I thought that article was wild.
I think it's just the politics. I think that's why, you know what I'm saying, that the radio's gonna play it and everything. I mean, we can get into all that, I guess, but
oh yeah, I'm gonna get all into this.
Yeah, it's like I don't think no one's the only people who really continuously talk about the DJ, and it's no shade, like. But because I know he worked hard.
Yeah, the dude got a crazy
to get
legacy.
where he's at and everything. But to be just quite frank, like the people who talk about Khaled the most are like, I guess these websites and radio and whatnot. But I don't really hear like people in person saying like, "Yo, bro, you hear the new Khaled?" or you know that new Khaled about to drop. Like,
yeah, it's
just
like
don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he's like more of like he's a public figure.
Yeah,
you know, he usually gets picked up by all the media. But anyway, all right. So, are you from Pittsburgh originally?
Mm-hmm, yep. So, Penhills, graduated 2013. Back at the old high school. They got a new high school now. Yeah. So, graduated 2013. My first 5 years I lived in Wilkinsburg. Then I moved to Penhills like when I was like in first grade. But like I was never one of them dudes to be like, oh yeah, I'm from Wilkinsburg, bro. Like everybody, like when you young, you got like the pressure to be hood. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't me. I was like, man, I'm not about to be I don't be in Wilkinsburg. Like I'm not about to be telling people I'm from Wilkinsburg. We ain't gonna do that. So you know what I'm saying? Like I just tell everybody I'm from Penhills because that's where I'm from. Like you know what I'm saying? That's where I grew up. That's where like
for sure.
So yeah, I went to Linton Middle School. Graduated from Penhills High School.
Were you 27?
What'd you say?
Are you 27?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Wait, what year did you graduate?
13.
Oh, shit. Yeah, 5 years different. Never mind. 24.
Yeah. I just turned 24. May 6th. What's today? That's like 3 weeks ago.
Happy birthday.
Good luck. Appreciate it. Yeah.
So you, like, in school and shit like that, are you always, like, so for people that don't know, you're a personality on WAMO.
Yeah. Radio personality, producer for WAMO. I do a little bit of everything except for sales, like promotions, everything at WAMO for real.
Now, like radio has been something that like has always caught my eye since I was young. Like back in the day, like listening to morning radio and shit like that. It's always something that I've been like fascinated by. Mm-hmm. So like whenever you were younger, were you like always into music and radio and shit like that, or did you kind of like get into that later?
So yeah, I've always been into music. So like my father, he's a lot older than me. My father was born in 1951, right?
Yeah.
So me being born in he was 44 years old when he had me. I was born in 95. So most people who was like in my like grade, their fathers were probably 20 years younger than my dad. So basically, my dad he's into jazz. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't into Tupac or Biggie or none of that. So like that wasn't when Biggie and them was out. That was like for kids to him type. You know what I'm saying? Like granted, when I become 44 years old, if who's hot? Let me think of someone who's hot right now. Like Dave East. Anybody. When I'm 44, I'm not going to be really listening to Dave East, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't relate to my demographic.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like how all them rappers back in the 90s was, I guess to him, Wu-Tang, Tupac, Biggie. So he didn't put me on none of that. Like my big brother, he's 10 years older than me. He put me on that. But my dad played jazz and whatnot. He was in the Miles Davis, John Coltrane, everything like that. He plays the trumpet.
Okay.
So yeah, he had me playing the trumpet when I was in 4th grade. But I played it for a year and actually quit because like it just wasn't cool at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
When you young, you be trying to like be.
You either want to play drums,
people.
guitar, or some shit like that. If you do have to play an instrument.
Yeah. I was like it's not impressing. It's not impressive. Like at the age of 9, like I'm like man,
he's got a little trumpet out there. And
man,
stuff.
the girls ain't into.
I never played an instrument ever.
Yeah,
I
still remember how to hold the trumpet and everything, but I tried to play it like earlier this year. So
he got
terrible.
you into shit in the beginning though.
Yeah, so
as far
I'm a
as
little
music.
Well rounded. I'll explain like every way I'm into music. So my dad he got me into like the jazz side of things. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I'll still listen to some Miles Davis. It's so soothing.
Yeah.
My brother, he's 10 years older than me. Growing up, he had me on early Dipset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the
50
good
Cent,
shit.
like gritty shit, Mobb Deep, you know what I'm saying? The Locks, like everything. And then my mom passed away when I was 10, but her favorite artist was like Sade, Erykah Badu, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So like I'm very well rounded.
Yeah, so you have a little bit from every genre of music and
yep,
shit.
Yep, I can go.
That's dope.
Yeah.
See, my brother, it's always better whenever you have like an older brother because like they're the filter of like all the dope shit. It's like if they're older than you, like my brother was 6 years older than me, so like he graduated in like '02 from McKeesport, so like he was always bringing home like No Limit Soldiers, like Bone Thugs, all this shit, and he's the one who put me onto all that stuff. My dad grew up on like old school like rock and roll and shit, like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and everything. But like my brother brought all that other shit into my house, so like it's like the same thing. It's like a little bit well rounded.
And one more thing to add, like looking back on it, so like my grandma and my granddad, they used to have a bar in Homewood called Monk and Barb's, right? And I want to say they opened that up in like the late, or maybe mid 70s or something like that. They had it open for like 30 years, so maybe like mid 70s to mid 2000s where they closed it. But anyway, so it was like a staple in Homewoods, and a lot of older people. It was a bar for like older people, like maybe like 40 and up, maybe late 30s. But you're not gonna see no one in their 20. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, like around the year 2000, 2001. 2002, like early 2000s, I would be like maybe 7, 8 years old, and every now and then, maybe like after school or whatnot, like my mom or whoever would take me to past the bar because maybe just to get something. You know what I'm saying? My grandma and my granddad, they're all night, maybe dropping something off or whatever, and I would just be in the bar a lot of times because it was a family bar. It's our family's bar and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I would just be hearing the old school music that was playing, like for example, like let me see. Like, I guess all that old school music, like there was like that 70s soul music, you know what I'm saying? So like I was around that at a young age, hearing that. So like even now I can still throw in some old school music and like know
and still appreciate it.
Yeah, still appreciate it.
For sure.
And that's why I love Dipset so much because growing up, because they would sample
all the old shit. They sample all that old shit.
They would sample all that, like Heat Makers and all them. They would chop up them samples. Like I'm the type where Diplomatic Immunity is my favorite. I think that's probably my favorite album of all time. Ever.
Is it?
Ever. Like,
all right.
And the double disc is like, I guess 25 songs or whatever, something like that. But I listened to that album probably like too many times, bro. So like I would go and Google my favorite songs, like maybe like My Love, I'm Ready, I Really Mean It. And like I would go and Google like who sampled it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever did that before, but like it was like a little app to where it'll show you the new version and the old version. So I would find the old version and I would try to listen for the sample that they chopped out. And I'm like, oh, I caught it. That's it. That's where they grabbed that.
That's
dope.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, so like I can really appreciate like the old and the new, you know what I'm saying? Like I really I'm not saying I'm like no straight music guru because I'm always
but you like different shit.
Yeah, I'm always like open to get put onto something.
I talked to Big Germ on here, and I was asking him like
Big who?
Big Germ.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to him on here, and he was like, I was asking him about like his exposure to music in the beginning, and like some of his favorite shit, and he was saying like he loves all the old like soul, like funk, all that stuff, and that's what he was saying. The same thing. Like whenever he samples shit, like he gets it from all these like old random ass like old school jazz, funk, like blues, all these people. He finds weird ass shit through there because like those are all them hidden gems that no one ever goes and looks through. For sure.
I love sample music, and I feel like it's timeless for real. Like, it's like it's obviously timeless because the sample they got, that song is still relevant because they want to put it into a beat. So the original's timeless, and all they got to do, I feel like, is not fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't ruin something crazy.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is just not fuck up. The foundation is laid. And I feel like music's gonna be timeless, even with the sample and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like, how are you getting like if your dad was all up into the jazz and everything like that, you're getting like your music and everything from your brother as far as like
hands down my brother.
Parental advisory shit like that. You remember whenever you couldn't buy a CD back in the day? Like I remember going into Circuit City and not being able to buy a CD, and it was weird as hell.
I remember I bought the Jeezy Thug Motivation at Circuit City. And my dad made me return it that next day and get the clean one. I was sick. I'm like, yo,
I know, right?
What's up? Like
to get a Walmart version of some edited.
Yeah, bro.
Shit.
Like, what's up? I was sick. Like, I didn't even want to play it no more. Like, man, come on. I'm not.
I mean, you can't learn all the good shit.
That's like watching Poetic Justice on BET.
And they cut out all the good shit.
Like that's not even Tupac's voice no more. Like, come on, man, this movie's straight.
Yeah,
like,
it's not even Tupac's voice anymore.
Yeah, I swear that wasn't Tupac's voice. I swear they had some random dude like filling in the blanks, man.
Someone just told me about a movie with Tupac the other day that I got to watch. It's called Bullet. You ever hear that?
No.
I think Tupac is with. he's with some Mickey Rourke, and they're both like crazy heroin addicts or something like that. I never even heard about
Tupac
it.
had range.
Yeah, Tupac was
As an
wild,
actor.
dude. Crazy.
He had range as an actor.
Like 20, 23, 22, 21. Like, that's fucking insane. People think that, like, we talked about it before. It's like he died whenever he was, 25, 26?
20. No, definitely not 26. It might have been 24 for real.
24?
I think he might have been 24 and Biggie might have been 25. I believe.
That's insane to think about. 24 years old and have, like,
I'm 24 now.
The
It's
impact that he had on shit like that. It's wild to think about.
Yeah, like he in the 90s, like with all the movies, he was in Above the Rim, Juice. We
Yeah.
going on. He was supposed to be in Minister Society. Like, there's no telling what he was about to turn into. Like, he would have been like,
Yeah,
bigger
crazy.
possibly bigger than Will Smith as an actor. Like,
Yeah.
there's no telling.
That's wild to think about. Will Smith. Yeah, that's wild to think about. So like whenever you were younger and you're like into music and shit like that in school, what did you focus on? Like, what did you think you were gonna do? Like,
All right, in school, like, so I get we'll skip to high school because elementary, middle school, I had no idea. What I
yeah,
was
no
gonna
one
do.
ever does.
You know what I'm saying?
Were you into sports and
Well,
shit
yeah,
like that
actually,
back
no.
then?
I started middle school. Yeah, I started playing football. No. Let's go back. I'm fast forwarding too much. Sorry, look. So in elementary school, my first sport was basketball for the YMCA. I was hooping a little bit. I tried karate for a year, didn't like it. Then I played flag football one year in sixth grade, and then my first year of contact football was seventh grade at Penn Hills. And it wasn't for the schools, for like the Bantams. Like, that's the good team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so when you're in seventh grade at Penn Hills, once you get around that age range of like 12 to 13, you can either play for Linton Middle School or you can play for the Bantams, which is like the I guess the association of Penn Hills or whatnot.
Was that like a traveling team almost? Like
Yeah. You got to pay at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like probably maybe 100, 200, 300, something like that. You got to pay a good amount of money. That's going to pay for like the
That's like the equivalent of like an AAU basketball team and shit like that.
Yeah. Because you play for school, it's free.
Yeah, for
or whatnot.
sure.
But at the time when we was like 12 or 13, like everyone knew if you played for the school, there was no competition. No one really came out to the games. There wasn't that much energy.
Yeah.
The coaches was drunks. Like, the people who played were trash. You know what I'm saying? But you played for the Bantams. It was like, it was on for real.
Yeah,
It was
people
like,
were taking it
this is
serious.
like mini high school for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the games was like cracking. Like, I'm talking people like, it felt like it was a high school to us. You know what I'm saying? At the time, 13
For
years old.
sure.
and not.
For sure.
So, yeah, I started playing football seventh grade. Played for the Bantams seventh and eighth. At the time, I guess that was like my only like hobby in school for real. Like, I guess like another hobby, I could draw for real, but I never really took it serious.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to like high school, probably that was like 09. I was still playing. So I was still playing football and whatnot.
What were you listening to?
Was I listening to in high school? All right, J. Cole, Friday Night Lights. I used to listen to that every day in the morning in 10th grade. Too Deep for the Intro, because on Too Deep for the Intro, here we go again with this sampling. He was sampling Erykah Badu, and that brought the nostalgia back from my mom, because at the time, my mom used to listen to a whole bunch of Erykah Badu, like in the car when I was younger. And so then, like, ever since my mom passed in 2005, she passed when I was in fifth grade. Well, before I got to fifth grade, 2 weeks before I started fifth grade, she passed. She passed from breast cancer. So then, let's fast forward back to 10th grade. Hearing Erykah Badu, hearing Sade, it's like still me having a piece of her, you know what I'm saying? Listening
sure.
to that. So when I heard J. Cole chopping up that Too Deep for the Intro with the Erykah Badu
It
sample,
hit a little bit different for you.
yeah, and he was actually spitting. Like, that's probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite J. Cole songs to this day.
You
Like,
fuck with J. Cole then, obviously.
yeah, I fuck with J. Cole. To be honest, I think I fucked with him heavier back up until like 2013, but I still fuck with him.
Now, I've had people on here before that say that I can't remember who. It might have been B. White on here, but he was saying that J. Cole is boring. It might have been him. I can't quote that.
I can understand that. My favorite J. Cole album was 2013, Born Sinner.
Yeah.
That was my favorite J. Cole album. And probably my favorite, I can't even say my favorite song. One of my favorite songs on there was Let Nas Down towards the end of the album. But I can't even say my favorite song. That whole album, Farrah, you can play that straight through. Like,
Yeah, it's like I can understand why people say he's like boring, because he's not like it's not like a bouncy like come
yeah,
at you.
I think
like,
the beats.
Yeah, it definitely for sure. They're a little bit more subtle, but if you listen to his lyrics, like that song with him and Jid is like that was crazy. Like that Middle Child was crazy.
Crazy.
Like all them songs that he comes out, I just don't understand how people find him boring. But he's just killing it.
Yeah.
Definitely killing it.
Yeah, I don't know I think, what was the album after Born Sinner? 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah, Forest Hills Drive.
So I remember when that came out 2014, like,
Is that when it was?
yeah, 2014.
Damn.
Because I remember
5 years ago.
I remember
already.
like his address 2014 just happened to be the same year it dropped. That's how I remember. But
That was such a dope cover of him on top of that roof.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was dope.
And
for
how
sure.
he was like renting out to people for free and to
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
feet, that house and everything.
That's
yeah.
dope for sure. The
Yeah.
house he grew up in and shit.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, but I could understand like how people would love that album, but me, it just never really resonated with me that well for real.
But he was someone that you were listening to back in high school and shit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I was on him before everyone. Like I'm not one of them people. Like
Yeah.
I think I got him. Not too deep. Friday Night Lights was my intro. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he dropped before that, I wasn't really paying no mind. Like what he had, like he had some song that was popular as hell. I forget.
Was it?
It was like a big hit from his hometown and everything. I couldn't even tell you, bro. I forget.
It wasn't Lights, Please.
No, not Lights, Please, because that was on the first album.
Yeah, it was on the first
before
one.
that.
You ever listen to him in that song, him and Boss? It's called I can't remember what it was. Boss is sick too, though. He always got some weird ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't know that's how you pronounce it. B.
It might not be. I might be ignorant to that.
I
for
think
sure.
I just never said his name. Now that I think
Never
about
did.
It.
I always
That's
see
why
his
I don't know how to pronounce
BAS.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just see the
BAS.
BAS. I never said his name before. Well, I thought you said Boss, like BOSS.
Yeah,
I was like Boss. Who's
Easy
that?
to confuse.
Yeah.
In high school, though, like how are you like coming up with what you want to like? I talk to everyone about it. I always ask people about high school because I think it's fucking ridiculous how schools make like, you know, kids that are 14, 15, 16 years old try to decide what they want to do for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
whenever they don't even know what they like.
It's way too early.
It's like 3 months later, you might like something completely
Way too
different.
early.
You know what I mean?
And when I was in the high school, like I remember 10th grade, like, did you ever hear, I'm sure you heard of Kennywood Picnic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Penn Hills
yeah,
Picnic.
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
First of all, just to paint a story, like, so Penn Hills, like growing up, like, for people who never went to Penn Hills, it's a good little melting pot. I feel like Penn Hills is a very diverse city. I mean, not city. I'm sorry, high school. I think it's one of the most diverse high schools in the city, like along with like Woodland Hills or Alderdice or whatnot. But Penn Hills, like originally, it's an Italian neighborhood and everything.
Yeah.
You see all the little Italian eateries on one side of Penn Hills, but on the other side of Penn Hills, once you start getting towards East Hills, Homewood, and everything, like there's certain streets in Penn Hills is like the hood for real, like
Yeah.
like Anthon or something like that, or there's a couple spots like on Penn Hills to where it's like, yo, you're in the hood just because you got the like the Penn Hills zip code.
Yeah,
like,
the mailing address.
yeah, like this is the hood for real. So like it's real diverse. So you got the Italian heritage with like all this hood, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess demographic moving into Penn Hills. It was a very diverse school. And then Penn Hills was also known for like everyone knew like they had the most girls and everything. Their picnic was cracking every year. The prom was cracking every year. Like so.
How many people did you graduate with?
I think like 400 or something like that.
Yeah, so
I
you
think like maybe 450.
because I think we were 250. I went to Elizabeth Forward, so we were a little bit smaller. So like ours was 250, and like, you know, that was still like a decent size school. But like you have people like Plum. I don't know what they graduate with, but that place is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's like was Penn Hills considered big?
Oh hell yeah, definitely. Penn Hills was definitely because the way you could tell it was a quad A school when I was there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
true. That was when McKeesport was quad A still.
Yup.
Yeah, okay.
Keysport was quad A. We were quad A. Woody High.
Yeah, Woody
you know what I'm
High
saying?
for
That's
sure.
definitely going to tell you the capacity of the school.
Yeah.
And what, or the population. What I guess division they were in the Whippeal. So yeah, Penn Hills was definitely big. And like you already know like the rivalry with Gateway, McKeesport, Woody High, and everything type. But yeah, like when I was in 10th grade, all I was worried about was having a fresh outfit for Kennywood picnic, bro. Like
Yeah,
I
the
had
Kennywood fit.
I had no idea what I was going to be. I still remember 10th grade, like getting in the shower, like, damn, like I'm about to kill him with cause I had the 2010 Air Maxes. I still remember these black and teal. I had the 2010 Air Maxes with the black Nike socks, the black cargos. I could close my eyes, go through the whole fit. I had
Yeah, the
teal-
Kennywood fits were
teal
the
and black
biggest
Nike
deal.
shirt. You know, all the Nike shirts had that little corny slogan on it, like best man to fly. Or some stupid
my feet
shit.
hurt from kicking so much ass. Some shit like that.
Some
yeah.
stupid shit that you wouldn't wear nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
But they linked up with every pair of shoes. Like that was
Yeah.
the smartest marketing move that they could have ever done.
Uh-huh.
Is just link up any Nike shoes with the Jordan that's dropping right then and there. Definitely still smart.
That's all I was worried about. Even to the point where I got to 12th grade, I still had no idea what I wanted to do in life, bro.
It's like in high school. Do you ever remember them like, you know, like directing you in a certain way? You know, I try to think about that whenever I ask people about high school. It's like, if they gave us, like I don't remember in high school, like I don't remember ever taking like an aptitude test or like where they're supposed to be able to tell you like what type of job you should have. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea.
They definitely should have did that. Like for me to be in 12th grade and not know nothing about taxes, not know nothing about credit, not know nothing about the difference between debit and credit, savings accounts, nothing.
That's a good point.
I can go on and on, like applying for a loan, getting a car, a house, nothing, bro.
Why do you think they don't teach you that?
Y equals MX plus B.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Something ridiculous.
I haven't
like
used that since 11th grade.
Rise over run and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
slope.
Yeah, come on now. Even though I use rise over run the other day at work. I designed piping and like.
Okay, yeah. I can understand.
Yeah,
that.
but it was just like, I never in my life thought I would never use that ever again. You see them old memes where it's like whenever teachers said, when are you ever going to have a calculator in your pocket? And it's like we all have cell phones in our pockets the whole time. It's wild.
Yeah, I remember like learning slope intercept form, just like.
But like, there was no direction on like what it was supposed to be. Like, so did you plan on going to college and shit?
I planned on it. So like when I was in 12th grade, I'll be honest, bro. So like when I was in high school, I didn't. My mom passing when I was before 5th grade had a big effect on me, bro. Like
had to.
By the time I was in high school, my brother, my grandma, and my dad, they were still on me, trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing, making sure I'm studying, making sure like checking up on me. But at the end of the day, my mom was my foundation because she used to be a teacher. She used to teach at Crescent elementary school in Homewood and whatnot. So she was a teacher. So with her being a teacher, like I felt like I kind of had like that.
You had that inside scoop.
Yeah, like home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a teacher. She's going to make sure I'm applying for my SATs by this year or putting in all these applications to college by this year. So by the time I got to, like for example, the year after she passed, that was the first time I ever got less than a B ever. I got like, one time I had all E's on my report card in 6th grade. Like I just lost my backbone in terms of support. So then I started getting it together, but it was hard trying to figure it out through middle school and high school and whatnot. So like to get back to where we were at, I had no direction. I had no idea what college I wanted to go to. I was in 11th grade seeing kids leave out of school early with early dismissals, what I'm thinking, but really they're about to go on a college trip or a college tour. Yeah. And I'm like, how did y'all apply for that? Like, when was the applications? You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying attention to that. Literally, I'm just
you got no one to teach you to do it.
I'm just going to school, not paying attention in class, making up my work at the last minute, copying
just serving time.
Yeah, like I wasn't like no straight fuck up. I'm not like in the school just hollering, getting suspended or nothing like that.
Yeah, but it's like if you're not like, if you don't have any focus, like you're just there serving time. Like it's not like you're not trying. Like I tried and shit, but like I didn't know what the fuck I was there for. You know, I would just go to school and just go there and like I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And
bro,
it was just difficult. You know, you would think your high school would be a little bit more equipped to like prepare you with life, but just like you said, like taxes and shit, like all that shit, like you don't learn nothing about it.
Nothing.
You learn this ridiculous other shit.
Yeah.
So like, when did the music stuff come into play? Like, how did that kind of manifest itself? Did you go to Point Park?
So yeah, actually, I could segue into what we were just talking about, into how the music came into play. So basically, to finish off me being in high school and whatnot, by the time like 11th, 12th grade came around, that was like the first time in my life I was really starting to feel like, damn, am I failing? But I'm only 17. Like, why am I feeling like that?
Yeah.
But in my head, that's the oldest I've ever been. So I'm thinking like, I'm seeing people, this person's going to North Carolina A&T, this person's going to Temple. I'm like, fuck, like, I don't know where I'm going, but I do want to go to college, but I don't know. Like, what should I be doing right now? You know what I'm saying? I feel embarrassed because like people saying, where you going to school? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. Really, I guess I could have just asked more questions, but at the time, like I said, bro, I was like embarrassed to be behind the 8 ball.
But like
not
17 years old, are you supposed to be the one that's like, yo, what the fuck?
You ain't
am I
supposed to know
supposed
shit.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to. Like, I feel like you should have a little bit more guidance. Like, we're paying these fucking schools to teach us stuff.
100%, like more like I guess like counselors or academic advisors.
Yeah, I don't even remember talking to my counselor in high school. Not one time. One time. I remember going in there one time whenever I had like an F in one of these classes. That's the only time they ever wanted to speak to you about anything. And I mean, like,
just to discipline you and whatnot. But so then graduated 12th grade and whatnot. And I'm not one of them dudes that had a fear of graduating. I knew I was going to graduate. I knew I would, like, that's
absolutely
not a choice to me dropping out of high school. Like, I knew I'll be a straight failure. Some people can drop out and get it, but me, that's not me. I got to graduate. So anyway, graduated from high school, ended up enrolling at CCAC Boyce. That's what a lot of people do. And granted, I'm happy I did because, like, it was cheap at the time. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like $300 a credit and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I went to Boyce. At the time, I was going for accounting because I thought that's what I wanted to do. Like, I kind of just picked up a subject like, well, what do I not mind being? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know that many careers, so I just chose accounting. I was like, I'm good with math. Granted, you do got to be good with math, but an accountant's more so like formulas and everything. It's not really more so crunching numbers. You got a calculator. So anyway, I'm going to CCAC for accounting and everything, and it was just so boring to me, bro. Like, I was like, I can't really see myself doing this, typing on the same computer, like typing the same spreadsheet for the same company year after year after year. Like,
40 years.
Yeah, I like something competitive. I love competition. You know what I'm saying?
That's what keeps you going, I feel you. That's what keeps you progressing.
I love creativity too. I love like implementing that into my job. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, the person who can go into work every day and do the same thing, I take my hat off at them because I can't. Like, I can't do that. But so I ended up like, I don't want to say dropping out of CCAC because I ended up going back. I took a break for a while. I was working on like kind of bullshit ass jobs, like minimum wage jobs, Sam's Club. Let me see. I worked at Ford, washing cars, a whole bunch of stupid jobs that I quit. But the only jobs that around the time when I was like 18, 19, that I was really sticking with was Champs in Monroeville Mall. That's probably like how I met a lot of people, was selling shoes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that was like just a cool ass job for like an 18-year-old.
Absolutely.
Like, I got the discount on all the Jordans.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people coming
whenever
up.
you work there, do you get like first pick on shoes? Like, if they
Absolutely.
Okay, I was gonna say you got to, right?
Yeah,
you have
definitely.
to.
Definitely. You know my favorite color, the rapper?
Yeah.
He worked there with me.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, I worked at 2 jobs with him. I worked at Kmart, my first job ever. I worked in the lawn and garden department. I forget what he did. I didn't give a fuck. People used to steal TVs, walk straight out of my department. I'm not chasing them.
That song he just put out is dope. The video is dope too. Shit's sick.
Yeah, shout out my favorite color.
Yeah, he's hard for sure. I honestly just got put onto him late. I got put onto him super late. Someone tagged him in something, and I don't know. I came across it. I was like, that shit is hard for sure.
Yep.
Sounds different.
He's dope,
It's
bro.
a different sound.
He's dope. But yeah, he worked at Kmart with me. I don't know when he quit. I quit after like 5 months. Then I went to Champs. Then he came to Champs like a year later. We both was working there. He's like a real shoe head, like a real sneaker head. I'm not a sneaker head, even though I worked there. Like,
yeah.
I kind of just enjoy getting shoes here and there, maybe even selling a pair here and there. But I more so just enjoyed the job. Like, it was easy.
Yeah, it was fun to do
talking to
compared
people.
to
What's up, bro? How you? Yeah, this and that. You know what I'm saying?
being in a job where you converse with someone. Like, I manage like that Threads on Carson. You know that place?
Yep. I remember I bumped into you there. Yep.
I worked on there for a minute, and it's like all them places is like where I met where I met so many people, connections, everything like that. PK, all them, Pet Zebra, and everything. And it's just like that type of work is just so much better than just sitting at a fucking desk all day. It's like you're talking to people. Every interaction's different. You know what I mean? It's definitely dope.
Actually, I'm so happy I brought up Champs because I was going to forget if I didn't bring it up. That's actually how the WAMO segue happened. So one day I was there on the sales floor, and granted, at this time, so just to paint the picture, let me see what year it is. It's 2015. I got maybe a couple more semesters, maybe like 2 more semesters left at CCAC. I'm still going for accounting at the time because that's what I think I want to be, and I'm working at Champs. At the time, I'm 19 years old, and Mike Jacks, he was a radio personality at WAMO.
Yeah.
And he walked into Champs one time, and he was just talking to us about music and whatnot, like old school hip hop. As a matter of fact, it was me, Willis. I call him Willis, my favorite color. That's his real name, but. We were talking with him. We was talking about like old Nas, like Illmatic or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why we was talking about it. So after the conversation, he gave me his business card. He's like, "Hey, listen to me on WAMO and Mike Jacks and whatnot." So I was just staring at the WAMO card. I'm like, "Oh shit, I went my intern in there."
Yeah.
So I kept the card and whatnot. I emailed him. No, I didn't email him. I asked him right there on the spot. I said, so like how do I intern at WAMO? Because at the time, I think it was like probably like March of 2015. I was like still 19. So I'm like, hey, how do I intern at WAMO and whatnot? Because like at the time, I'm watching like a lot of Breakfast Club interviews,
Yeah,
Hot
for
97. Sure. I used to watch those interviews thinking like, damn, that job seemed cool as hell.
Be dope
like,
as hell to do that.
Easy, yeah, I talk, you know what I'm saying? And I love giving my opinion.
He said I talk.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind doing that. So I'm right there. I'm like, oh, this is a good moment. Let me ask him. So I say, yo, how can I get an internship there? He says, just submit your resume. So when he said that, I kind of like lost a little motivation because when he said that, I'm like, oh my
Yeah, it's
gosh.
like, what do you have for a resume?
I don't got experience. I work here, bro. Like, I'm asking you, how did I get into WAMO? I don't work at a radio station. So then I was like, it's over. It's over. So I went like 2 months. And my brother told me, and at the time, I'm skipping a couple things. At the time, I still had them 2 semesters left at CCAC. I was about to go into the Air Force.
Really?
Yeah. I was about to go into the Air Force
Jeez.
in 2015. At the end of 2014 in the wintertime. That's when I was getting recruited. I still remember my recruiter's name, Sergeant Castleberry, in the Monroeville Mall upstairs. And because I was going good there because I didn't have life figured out. I was like, I can go there for 4 years, you know what I'm saying? Get the GI Bill, get school paid for.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Get a Challenger like everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Get a Challenger like everyone else.
My medical records ain't passed because at the time I had a surgery on my knee, and my medical records ain't passed. So I took my ASVAB and everything. Went down to the federal building downtown. Scored a 64 on my ASVAB. I guess that was a good score. They say I could do any job in the military, damn near any job in the military. So I'm like, period. So the second part was the physical test and whatnot. And then once you get to that physical test, I guess they're gonna give me like a date to like when I could pick my boot camp, or I don't know the process because I never made it that far.
Yeah.
So anyway, found out my medical records ain't passed. So I was like, fuck. So then I was about to try to be an electrician because my dad, he's a retired electrician with the IBEW union.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do that. I didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I just was telling myself, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Granted,
this will work.
Deep
Pay
down
the
inside,
pills.
I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I went there one time. I took a written exam, scored pretty well in there. So there was a process too with the IBEW union. It only comes around every March. So I guess from like March, April, May, that's the time to enroll for the apprenticeship. And it's a 5-year apprenticeship. You go to work 4 days a week, and on the 5th day you go to school. You get paid $10 an hour. I still remember it's like a dollar raise every half a year or whatnot. So I'm like, period, come with benefits and all that. So at the time, like I said, I'm still 19. I'm like, I think this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Benefits too?
Yeah.
That ain't bad at all.
Yeah, benefits, you know what I'm saying? Health insurance. I'm thinking, okay, I can get a $2 raise every year because it's $1 every half a year. I'm just doing the math in my head and whatnot. I'm just kind of like lining up. The
4
next couple
years, you'll
of
be
my life.
$16.
Right. That's how I'm thinking. That's how
ain't
I'm thinking
bad.
of it. And to this day, that's still not bad.
Yeah, it
I
ain't
know
bad at
people,
all.
I bump into people who do that and they're doing well for themselves and whatnot. So, but deep down, I just didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like to implement creativity, and I like every day to be a little bit different and whatnot. So my brother, he tells me in May that WAMO's hiring interns. So here I come back around with this idea of getting into WAMO. So I just turned 20. So I'm like, fuck it, let me just email my resume. On the time, the only thing on my resume was high school, CCAC, some college, because I didn't graduate from there yet, and that's just a 2-year school.
Champs?
Yeah, my work experience. Champs. Let me see. Yep, Champs. Probably whatever other jobs. I think I was working at Sam's Club at the time. Just whatever little minimum wage jobs I had. So they hired me as an intern. I was surprised for real. I was geeked up for real. They hired me May. They had like 10 interns that year.
What does an intern do?
All right, so intern at the radio station. So we would be doing 2 different things. We would either be in the radio station, like messing with like maybe like the database, like anytime listeners. Anytime listeners will win tickets, we'll get their name, number, email, put them in the email database or whatnot, so we can reach out to them for future things.
Yeah,
we wasn't really doing important things. We were just kind of like learning how to like.
Yeah, you were learning out of the system.
Do simple things. But me, let me not skip just yet. Also, on the outside of the station, we would be doing promotions, because at the end of the day, it was a promotions internship. And what that consisted of is like a lot of times radio stations, not a lot of times, all the time, radio stations do remotes. And that's where like WAMO 100 will be in your area at this Metro PCS.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're
we'll
like
be
a
here for
street
2 hours.
team almost.
Yep, exactly, street team.
Yeah.
We're giving out tickets, compass, say the keyword.
Yeah,
and
connecting with people.
Yeah. Register to win for these tickets. If you don't win the tickets, you might be to win this, yada, yada, yada. So we would be doing that at concerts and whatnot. So that's outside.
And in the beginning, whenever you started this, you liked it? I mean, you seem like someone who's able to talk, and like you're a people person.
I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was once we got to the remotes, I'm like, damn, we're really hot for 2 hours. It's hot as hell. But that was just easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not really working. We're just standing around talking. You know what I'm saying? anytime, all of our job was pretty simple. When someone walks past, hey, you want to come over to the WAMO table, win something? We're giving away Travis Scott tickets. All you got to do is register, win, fill out your name, number, email. We'll call the winner back at 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whenever the remote's over.
Yeah.
Simple stuff like that. So anyway, but then towards the internship start going on, I started listening to podcasts because I think, like I told you, 2015 was when I started listening to podcasts. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't mind doing a podcast. So I was going to try to start a podcast with the other interns there. But at the end of the day, like their mind wasn't
there
on how my mind was working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a host, you got to click. You know what I'm saying? To have a
you got to be able to adapt to any sort of guest.
We got to click. Like I got to kind of go off of what you's thinking. You got to go off of what
Absolutely.
I'm thinking. We can't you can't be talking and I'm your co-host. And I'm like, he needs to shut the fuck up and move on. Like we can't have that type of relationship. We got to be like that.
See, that's what's difficult for me. Like I can never do it with a co-host. Like my first podcast, I had a co-host, and it's hard. Like you two, like you and Brennan seem to be able to like vibe off each other and be able to. Yins are well as far as Yins do well as far as like balancing it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's difficult. I can't do that. I just need to be able to just say what I'm thinking about, because while you're saying something else might be popping into my head. And if I have a co-host and he takes me off track, like we won't ever get to that.
Right,
You know what I mean?
And it's
And
just-
I'm fucking stubborn and I'm selfish. Like this stuff, I'm crazy control freak over all this shit. It's like recording it all. I do all this shit myself because I don't trust other people to do it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, bro. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't even notice, but the New Wave podcast, I started out with a different co-host. We'll get to that. But so yeah, at the WAMO internship, let me see where I left off. Oh yeah, so I'm trying to like start like a little trial run with different interns. They're like, yo, let's start a podcast. They're nowhere near as serious as I am.
How many other people are there?
In the internship, there was like maybe like 9 total people, but I'm talking to like maybe like 3-4 main
Okay,
interns.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't even got an idea of how many people to do it with. I don't got an idea what we're going to talk about. I'm just kind of trying to have
You
a
just wanted
recorded
to do something.
conversation and implement my ideas, my opinions.
Absolutely.
On recent events. I had no guidance, no structure. I just kind of wanted to do it. But granted, I'm happy it didn't kick off because you want to start a solid foundation when you start a podcast.
Absolutely.
So
It's like if you start off hitting it and you don't have no one listening to you, it's just going to get brushed over. It's like
Exactly.
it just gets brushed over. You got to have a foundation of people to listen to for that first thing you put out. People got to be there to catch it.
exactly, bro. So then, as the internship was going on, I kind of started to take it initiative and take it upon myself to kind of just shadow the jocks. I would just ask them like, "Hey, like, can I just sit in on y'all shows?" Like, I didn't even want to go all the way. I'm the type to build a relationship with people like slowly, like a genuine relationship. I'm not the type to like, oh, he can offer me this. Let me ask him for all this immediately. That's never been me.
Yeah.
So instead of like going in like, hey, can I give you some ideas of what to talk about, or can I co-host? Like I wouldn't even ask for that. Literally, all I want to do is just sit in and watch you do it.
Just observe it.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And then as they would say, yeah, and as time went on, I kind of started like giving them some things to talk about. Because at the time, I'm the youngest person I'm the youngest person in the studio.
Yeah, so you're always on social media and shit.
Right.
You know what's popping and what's not.
Right, yeah. At the time, this woman named Charmin, she was doing weeknights from 6 to 10. I don't want to put her age out there. She was a little older than me.
Yeah.
So like, granted, with me being young, I'm quick to know about every single recent
Absolutely,
topic. So I could
absolutely.
just maybe plug it like, hey, this just happened. You know what I'm saying? Maybe talk about that. Or same with Mike Jacks. He was older with a wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know.
And it's like we're younger. We're living on our fucking
Exactly.
phones.
We're living it on our phones. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, when the day comes when I got kids, I'm not going to be
Yeah,
on
for
social media
sure.
all day. So
It's
what it is.
understandable that they're not. It's just like you can't expect them. If they did know all the shit that we knew, that would look bad on them. You know? What I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. It's like, bro, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah, it's like you hear what Cardi B said?
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah, bro. So I'm starting to sit on the shows. The internship, I'm learning little things. The internship comes to an end in August. So I'm back at CCAC. I'm like, okay.
Now, was your internship applying to your?
Credits? Yeah, yep.
Oh, it was?
I got credits towards college for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just one class, 3 credits and everything. So at the time, it's the fall of 2015. I'm like, okay, this is my last year at CCAC. Like 2 months go past. I'm still working my jobs and whatnot. And then one time, I just contact my promotions coordinator, not the one who hired me. The guy who's in charge of us. His name was Lou. Hit him up. I'm like, hey, can I come back to WAMO? Like, and just help y'all? Like, not even for the money. I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking I was going to wait till a whole nother summer, but I'm not trying to wait till a whole nother summer. So he told me I could do it. I come back in October. I'm just helping him with things, literally for free, bro. Like I'm just still showing up for free.
And no one wants to do that shit.
Yeah.
No one wants to put in that free work to try to learn some shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's where you learn everything.
Exactly. That's you. I mean, it sucks, I guess, after a while, because maybe if you got a lot of things to pay for, or maybe if you got a kid to take care of, I can understand that. But me, I had no obligations for real. I'm only 20 years old. I mean, I got small obligations, like, you know what I'm saying, paying my car insurance, phone bill, simple stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I don't got major obligations.
But if that could be something that you want to do, like, that's how you're learning the ins and outs of it all.
Right.
So that's dope.
Exactly, bro. So, and surely, I definitely started to get the opportunity to do a little bit more. So Mike Jacks, he had this little segment called Talk About It Tuesday, to where people, listeners can call into WAMO and say something positive on a Tuesday and whatnot.
Granted, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Looking back on it in hindsight, it was a stupid segment because, like, media and radio fuels off of negativity.
Absolutely.
And no one wants to hear, like, oh, yeah, man, I got baptized yesterday. Like, no one want to hear that shit on the air. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm picking up the phone line, hearing people say what they got positive going on. And after a while, I'm starting to be like, this is boring as hell. Like,
I got blessed yesterday. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
You know
like,
I mean?
Granted, like it is what it is. Like,
There's a good motivation behind it, a good mentality behind it, but that shit don't work.
It don't, bro. It don't. Like, unless it's like something very inspirational, like this happened and this allowed me to get this job, then it's like, okay, we can work with that soundbite. But if it's like simple stuff like, I got a job yesterday and I prayed for it. It's like, all right, anything else?
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
what's up. You know what I'm saying? So that I was doing that little segment, answering the phone for listeners and saving the recordings, and sometimes they'll play back. And also, Sharma, she was letting me co-host with her on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She had this segment called what was it? Top 5 at 7. It was the Top 5 at 7 countdown at 7 o'clock. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would go in and out of songs with her. You know what I'm saying? I still remember at the time, like, J. Cole, No Role Models was one of the songs.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
just to give a little context of the time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Time frame of it all.
So that was like a big deal for me. Like, I'm like, oh, shit. Like,
Because you're still 20, right?
Yeah, I'm
you're on the
20 years
radio
old.
a little bit?
I'm starting to get on the radio
Yeah,
for real.
that's
Like,
dope.
Like, I was geeked up for real. Like, every
You
time,
didn't have any idea in the beginning, like even in high school and shit. This was no plan of
No
what
plan.
you wanted to do.
No plan.
But you kind of you're manifesting this shit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that's
And-
dope.
Yeah, and to give a blueprint, the person who really made me like enjoy watching radio was Ebro. At the end of the day.
He's hilarious. Even though I don't agree with a lot of the shit that he does or says, but like I love his show just because like I like how that's why I like Charlemagne. Charlemagne is just like I like that he's just real. If he likes you, he likes you, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. I mean,
Right.
he make you feel like shit, he make you cry maybe, but like
Yeah.
I respect that. Like I respect the transparency between him and all that shit. Ebro's the same way.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta be solid to be like the head of the show. And to be honest, I think they both lack things that the other one doesn't, and I think they both have certain skills that the other one doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to really say who's greater than the other, but the reason I kind of more so like feel what Ebro says a lot of times, I think he's more musically inclined than Charlemagne, to be honest.
I could definitely think, definitely.
I think he
has a musical background.
he has a musical background. He's on Beats One Radio, which is live in over 100 countries. And
I never
everything.
thought about that actually. Charlemagne and all them. That's kind of. I mean, like Envy and shit. He got a musical background, but like him and Angie, like they're just people. They're like they're talk show hosts.
Talk show hosts.
That's a good point. Ebro is like he got a whole music background.
Yeah, he's a little older. He's very musically inclined, like with the references.
I never thought about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if an old school artist come up, like say a Trap Called Quest come up, I guarantee you Ebro's gonna have a better interview than Charlemagne, hands down any day. And at the end of the day, Ebro's the host. It's his show.
Yeah.
Charlemagne, that's not his show. Like, even every single time Ebro opens up an interview, you know what I'm saying? He kind of just makes the interview feel kind of like you're in a room with them. Sometimes when DJ Envy's away and Charlemagne opens up the interview, like just the way he gets straight to it, like sometimes his opening questions be like kind of stupid to me. Like I just be paying attention to little things. Like
It's goofy.
yeah, like I don't think Charlemagne. He's a great little. I don't say little. Let me not belittle him. He's dude got like 3 million followers.
Yeah, he's a
Let me
killer.
not say little, but
Killer.
He's a great host, but I don't think he could do what Ebro do. Like Ebro's a host on 2 different radio stations. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point to think about. Like Breakfast Club appeals to more people, I feel.
Definitely.
It's like
Definitely.
Ebro is like more of like people that want to get like in depth on like the technical shit.
Exactly.
And like Charlemagne and DJ Envy and all them, that's more like just like what's going on in your life. Like if you got some crazy drama, it's like they're gonna just talk about that. You know, it's really just like a talk show. They're not really about the technical end of it all.
Right.
That's
Don't get me
smart.
wrong.
I never
still
thought
think
about that.
Breakfast Club has better interviews because I think those 3 mesh better
Yeah.
than Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles. I don't think those 3 mesh as good as the Breakfast Club. But in terms of, I'm talking about like an individual person, Ebro and Charlamagne, I think Ebro's are just better hosts.
Yeah, I can understand
Peter
that for
Rosenberg,
sure.
He gets on my nerves. He just, I don't really like him all like that. But so yeah, back to 2015. Only reason I said all that is because like, you might ask like what got you in the radio. So like I used to watch like a lot of Hot 97 interviews and whatnot, a lot of Breakfast Club, but I would like watch Ebro. I'm like, damn, I like how he controls the conversation. I like his opinion, I like his point of view, and he makes a lot of sense and whatnot. So I was like, I can see myself doing the same thing. I have a great point of view. I'm musically inclined for my age. Like I can go back to Mobb Deep, to Capone and Noriega, to whatever, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm starting to like gain a little bit of experience at WAMO and whatnot, doing the top 5 at 7, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling people to tune in and whatnot. And then Bubby, he was the producer. Let's fast forward to WAMO day. It was May 2016. So at this point, I've been working at WAMO for a year as an intern with no pay. And literally, I was getting to the point where I was like, if I don't get a job, I'm about to quit. I'm not about to be working for 2 years with no pay. Like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to like buckle down.
Because like, how long are you spending there? Like what are your hours there?
To be honest, it was literally whenever I come in.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have like, because it wasn't an internship. An internship is like you're required to be here these 3 to 4 hours every day.
You're just helping out.
I'm just coming in, just trying to get my foot in the door. Like, y'all need help with something? Let me fill in. Or you need a co-host? You need topics? Whatever.
That's dope.
Oh, so there'll be some days I come in, waste my time. There's nothing to do. No one to help. So it was like a little bit of wins and losses, but with it. But so anyway, May 2016, I graduated from CCAC with my degree. Bubby was the producer at the time, and his job was to just voice and produce commercials. So anytime like a restaurant, sell car lot, rent and roll, any of these clients, so a promoter throwing a party, anybody who wants to pay for advertising and spend money on a commercial, it was his job to voice it, get the beat, and produce it down and put it on the air. That was his job, you know what I'm saying? So one time him and the general manager got into a little disagreement and whatnot, and Bubby quit. So the general manager called me up like, hey, you want to replace Bubby as the producer? And I'm like, I don't know production. Like, here I go fucking shoot myself in the foot, bro, because this is the opportunity. Like, here you go. You've been fucking interning for a year with no pay. Like, even though he told me, like, learn it, bro. I'm like, you're right. Sure, I'll do it. And I started, and that's where I started voicing a lot of commercials. That summer 2016, bro. It's to a point now. We're in summer of 2019. I produced probably like 400 to 450 commercials. Now.
Really?
It's definitely over 400. It's definitely over 400.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, your first time doing that, were you nervous about that shit in the beginning?
Definitely. I was
definitely
not very nervous, but definitely nervous. Like, damn, like I'm about to like kind of, I guess,
you just want to do it good.
Yeah, I'm about to represent this client. So like this client's paying for it, and this commercial's gonna run over and over again. Like, so however I sound, that's how they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But granted, I was just overthinking it. I started voicing commercials, and I started getting the flow of it real easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it comes second nature.
Yeah. Now it used to take me like 45 minutes to produce one commercial, and then it got to a point where I could do a whole commercial in 10 minutes, and then it got to a point to where I started adding more special effects. I started adding little echoes. I started like getting real technical with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to a point I started doing too much. I started equalizing my voice. Like, all right, motherfucker, just send the commercial back. We don't need all that shit.
Put auto-tune on your voice and shit.
Like, come on, dog. It's rent and roll.
That's dope, though, that you kind of just like got thrown into it and kind of, and you just been there since.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then that turned into, let me see. No. That was just, at the time I was just doing production, which is voicing and producing commercials. And still doing a little bit of promotion stuff. Anytime we got remote, I'm popping up or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And each time the new intern class comes summer after summer, I'm like showing them things and whatnot around the office. I'm
that's dope.
Giving them a little advice on this and that. Like, I'm letting them know, like, I'm not the most experienced. I've only been here but so long, but I do.
But you were in their shoes not too long ago, so
right.
they can take notes from you. Now, whenever you're producing all these commercials and shit, you're like an employee of WAMO now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so you're getting paid and shit like
yes,
that.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
I've been getting paid ever since May of 2016 when I replaced Bubby as the producer. Yep, that's when I started getting paid, and they put me on payroll and everything. Yep.
And like, what is your hours like of being there now?
So it changed, bro. Right now, to be honest, I'm not even near that much. I was full time at one point. When I first got hired, I was 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and that was from 2016 until, let me see, until the no. Okay, here we go. It was from 2016 until 2017. I reduced my hours a little bit because I enrolled in Point Park University and transferred there, so I started taking classes and whatnot. So I reduced my hours a little bit. I was still 5 days a week at the time, and I still go to Point Park to this day. I'm still in school, and now I got another job, and so now with me being in school still, having a second job, I'm really not at WAMO nowhere near as much as I used to be, bro. Like, probably like 2 days a week, to be honest. Maybe 1 day a week, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I'll still definitely try to like help out as much as I can, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's like at a concert, at a remote or whatnot, or happy hour or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Anything they need. Yeah,
anything they need, I'll try to help out as much as I can, but yeah, probably like 1 or 2 days a week now.
That's what's up, though. I mean, like, it's still dope to like have that just as like a different outlet. Like, I mean, and obviously, I saw you had Day Coles in there. You have like, so like, what's your process of like picking guests and shit like that, or playing people's music? Like, do you have now? Let me start from the beginning. Now, if you're a radio host there, like, and you're in the morning, like, do you get to pick whatever you want to play, or is there just like a pool of songs that are acceptable to play at that time, and that's what you get to pick from?
So as a radio personality, I'm literally the only radio personality there that could choose music, because I have the segment Future Flavors, which is we'll get into Future Flavors, but I have the segment Future Flavors, which is the local spotlight for a local artist, whether you're a rapper, a singer from the city. It's just a spotlight of just Pittsburgh artists and whatnot. Yeah. And I choose that. But any other radio personality, no one can pick their own music. The way radio works is really the music director picks the music, but we don't have a music director. We have a production director that does that job plus production. So he kind of like works.
So how do they decide? Like, is it just what's on the charts and like what's going on with music?
Yeah, they go off of a couple things. They go off of they follow the scene for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, they follow what other radio stations are playing. They follow what's like on the charts, buzzing. What's buzzing. Also, with the record labels, so there's departments in the record labals, and it's their job to contact all the radio stations. So if you got a Def Jam record, Def Jam Records, Epic Records, literally every record label, you know what I'm saying? There's departments for everything. There's departments for like
I didn't even think about that.
The legalities. Sense. So like maybe the legal department, they're in charge of making sure the samples are clear or whatnot. Or you got this department who's in charge of this, but I forget what department it is, what the name of it is, but their job is to contact all the radio stations. Yeah. Or maybe not all of them, maybe just a certain
the main ones.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I remember I would be in the studio with Boogie. He was the old program director at WAMO and whatnot. And every Tuesday, that'll be the day where all the record labels are calling saying, these are the artists we're trying to push and whatnot. Like, so like, let's say Dave East. I know he signed to Def Jam. I know he's really not on radio right now, but let's just act like he is. Yeah. So a Def Jam record label is going to call the radio station like, so I know we've been pushing this Dave East record. We're going to start letting go of this one, and we're going to get this Def Jam artist in there. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what a lot of the radio stations go off of. To be honest, the only way you could really get on radio across America is if you really got like a distribution deal, or you're signed to a record label, or you really blow up off the internet. Like, it's not like just like, oh yeah, bro, I'm hot, bro.
Like what you see in the movies where like someone gives them a tape and it's like, just go play this.
That don't really happen.
That
doesn't really happen. You know
what
I'm saying? Like,
do you still have people to do that? I mean, I'm sure you got people hitting you up in the DM like, here's a new track I just put out.
Yeah, almost every day, almost every other day. You know what I'm saying? And like it's hard to listen to all of it.
Yeah, I
because,
know.
like, after a while,
You got to
like,
respect it though. Like you got to respect that people are reaching out, but like I completely get where you are. It's like you got 100 people messaging you. Like, how the fuck are you going to listen to it all?
yeah, bro. Because excuse me, sorry. So many people will be sending explicit songs week after week, and it's like, man, y'all are wasting y'all time. Like,
Yeah, you can't play
I'm not
nothing.
cleaning the music. Like, I'll charge you though. Like, I'll charge people like $30, like, which is nothing, just to clean the jam because I know how to on Adobe Audition. But if you're not going to pay me, I'm not going to just be cleaning your music for free. Like, you're
Yeah.
talking about choppers and selling bricks and coke and fuck this bitch and like,
Yeah, like how do you like obviously like, you can't play music with like all that shit in there, but like how do you like keep from not swearing on air and shit like that?
I swore on air before. I said shit live on the radio.
What happens with that?
No one caught it.
No one caught it. You know who Abby is from the X? Abby, she's in the X morning show, but like I had her in here and like we were just talking and she swore and I was just like, I've never heard you swear in my life. I've never heard you because you're always on the radio. Like, how do you do that? And she was explaining to me that like it all depends on like the FCC if they catch it and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
Or if
yeah.
people like rat you out.
Big
almost.
fan.
Yeah, that's crazy. She was saying like to say fuck is like something crazy.
Thousands.
I was like, God,
Thousands.
that's nuts. I'd be terrible at it. I'd be terrible at it. I swear way too much on here.
It's way too much. It's too easy. Like, if
My
you're-
mom listens to it, and like my mom listens to every episode I do here. She'll be like, you swore like 30 times, like you swore 30 times on here. I'm just like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, so I guess the way I choose my music and whatnot.
Yeah, as far as like local people, like how do you do that without being biased and like without like with like giving people a fair shake at like getting on there?
All right, so what I do is it changed. It started out with email. It was future at WAMO100.com. And that was the email for anybody in Pittsburgh to submit their music to. So I used to be checking that for Future. Actually, I'm fast forwarding too much. Let's start from the beginning. Mike Jacks was hosting Future Flavors.
Yeah.
It was on Mondays from 9 to 10. No, from 9 to 9. No, wait. What time? 10 to 10:30. I'm sorry. So he had his daytime show, which I was still sitting in on, and he was doing Future Flavors from 10 to 10:30.
Yeah.
And I would just ask like, hey, can I just pick the songs? I know you got the email. Maybe I could just take some a load off your work. I could just pick the songs. So he trusted me with that. He would tell me I could pick 3 songs at a time from 10 to 10:30. That's really only enough time for 8 songs.
Yeah.
It was 5, commercial break 3, which is weak as hell. We need a little bit more time than that. But I was like, all right, fuck it. It is what it is. So I'll pick 3 songs, and I'll be checking that email, the future at WAMO100.com email. And there would be when I tell you there would be so much bullshit ass music in that email.
Oh, I bet.
Disgustingly terrible.
I
Like,
bet.
Who is this?
I bet.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So then after a while, I just stopped checking that email. Like, anybody out there listening who's still sending music to that email, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I ain't checked that in 2 years. But now I tell everybody send it to Nigel at WAMO100. It's in my Instagram bio and everything. So to fast forward a little bit, Mike Jacks left. So I got the Future Flavor slot. So then now that was my first introduction to having my own show.
Yeah.
So I was like 20, 21. I forget what age, but I'm on the air every Monday, 10 to 10:30. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really talking about anything in the culture. I'm literally just introing music. I'm not saying, oh yeah, Travis Scott just did. Isn't that crazy? Like none of that. It's literally, hey, WAMO 100, this is the new such and such, blase blase, artist in the name. I'm really just introing the music or maybe outroing it as well. Yeah, WAMO 100, y'all, that was such and such. Not really talking about much of nothing. So then I'm picking the music and whatnot, and I'm completely not biased. I never took money to play a record. I know a lot of people would definitely do.
People will offer you money to play a record?
Plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, $100 just to play it for that one night. I'll just tell them, bro, I'll play it for free, bro. I'm like, keep the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Because to be honest, that's payola. That's a federal crime.
Yeah, you can't.
To take money. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I heard one time like in New York City, like their program directors and Power 105 and Hot 97 went to jail. Like they
really
swept through the city, and like all these program directors, music directors were like getting caught with payola, and I think they either got like big fines or they went to jail because like that's a federal crime. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And granted, we WAMO 100, you know what I'm saying? We just the local hour, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm just not trying to even get caught up in that shit. Like if someone says, bro, I'll give you $100 to play this record, or what you need to play this record, every single time I told them, bro, just send it, bro. And if it's not up to par, I'm just not gonna play it.
Yeah,
but if it's up to par, I'll play it for free.
You got to respect that though. As far as like people like sending you music, like they got to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, like send it over, I'll listen to it. But if I'm not gonna play it, like it's the same thing with like me having people on here. Like now that it's like catching on a little bit more than it is, it's like people will hit me up and ask if they can come on and stuff like that. It's like one, I have like a huge like list of people that I want to have on here, and it's like two, I feel like I'm not gonna have anyone on unless I'm like interested in them, because I feel that the conversation would not be good. Like I ain't even looking at this notebook because like I'm just genuinely like curious about like your life, and I feel like if it's people doing some whack shit that like I'm not interested in, I'm gonna be like stumbling over my words trying to figure out some shit to talk about. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Another thing that just popped in my head, I'm curious about, why the fuck can't I get WAMO anywhere else in this city?
Here we go. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know because no one in the city. Like I can feel like I can't find it.
So yeah, so WAMO went off the air, the last one, in 2007 or 8. You know what I'm saying?
Was it that long ago?
That's when it went off the air the first time. And to give some context, anybody out there listening, look, a lot of people don't know this. I had to figure this out from working at WAMO. WAMO is really like a historical radio station in the country. I didn't know that. Like from like the 50s. Like I came across pictures of the Temptations at
Really?
WAMO. I got a picture. I'll show you right now. It's in my archive. Martin Luther King is holding up a WAMO mic. Let me see. Where's it at? Archive. It's right here.
Holy shit.
That's Martin Luther King at some event in the 60s
Wow.
or the 60s with a WAMO mic. He's here in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? So like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and to give a little bit more of a backstory about WAMO. I don't know what were the biggest radio stations coming up in the 60s, 70s, 80s in the country, but I know, like, for example, a lot of program directors at big radio stations now came out of WAMO. Like the program director that hired Charlemagne and put him on the Breakfast Club, he came from WAMO.
Really?
His name's George Cook. And Charlemagne talked about him in his book and everything, his first book, Black Privilege. But George Cook used to work at WAMO back in the day.
So it's like that big of a deal.
Yeah. For another example, there's this man named Hurricane Dave. He's in Atlanta. He's I believe he's the program director. That he might have maybe a bigger title than that. I don't know, but I know he's something big at Hot 107.9 in Atlanta, and they have a great radio station like with Stewie Rock, the Dirty Boys, and whatnot. They like kind of control the Atlanta scene. And Hurricane Dave. One time I'm on Instagram, I'm seeing him put up this old video of him talking on WAMO. I'm like, I didn't know he came from WAMO.
I had no idea that it was that old.
Yeah, like I instantly commented because I followed him. I instantly commented on it like, damn, I work there now, such and such. And he hit me back like, yeah, legendary call letters.
That's dope.
WAMO. I'm like, damn, like I didn't really know that WAMO was a big deal, but over time as it progressed and as we started getting all these different outlets for music consumption, WAMO's starting to take the back burner. You got Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, like radio in general is starting to take the back burner and whatnot. The strongest, from what I hear, the strongest WAMO ever was I guess in the 90s. They had this signal 105.9.
Yeah, 105.9.
Yeah, so I don't know if everyone knows, but different signals have different strengths. 105.9 might have a bigger circumference than 105.7, 105.3. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you're an investor or a owner or whatever, if you're opening up a radio station, if someone says, yeah, you could buy a 105.3 for $700,000, or you could buy a 105.9 for...
And 105.9 might hit it a little bit.
Yeah, 1.2 is going to be more clear. That's how it works. And then at the end of the day, you also might not have the option because what signals are available and which ones are already taken and whatnot. So WAMO went from...
I never knew that.
Yep. So WAMO went from 105.9 in the 90s. It conformed to 106.7 in the mid 2000s. That's what I know.
Yeah, I knew 106.7.
Yeah.
Because 105.9 I knew is the X. 106.7 I knew is like WAMO.
Yeah, yep. WAMO
and now is it WAMO 100.1? 100.1. Now, what's the second number that was on the
107.3?
What's that?
So basically, right now, WAMO's in a transition to open up an urban contemporary station. A lot of people call them urban ACs, but I'm sorry, urban adult contemporary. That's what the AC stands for. It's basically old school music. So basically, they're in a transition to where 100.1 is going to be the hip hop side, and when you turn to 107.3, it's still going to be WAMO, but it's going to be more so all old music. And it's going to be the jocks are going to be talking about things that people in their 30s and 40s care about. They're not going to be talking about
okay.
Sheck West at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shaq West. It's crazy. What do you think about the music scene in the world in a whole today? Like, are you a fan of obviously if you said Nipsey's one of your favorites and like go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I never told you why the signal's weak. I don't,
Oh yeah, why the fuck is it weak?
So,
Yins are using the same ones from back whenever Martin Luther King was there?
I wish, man, it was probably stronger back then. So basically, when WAMO went off the air in 106.7, they sold it to a Christian company, right? So Pittsburgh ain't have no radio station.
Really?
From 2008 to 2010, there was no hip hop station here, bro.
I remember whenever there was nothing, but I didn't know it was because they sold it to a Christian station.
Yeah.
And was it because of like the like, you know, Apple Music, Spotify, and Pandora and all that?
So I know the reason. I can't even tell you on air, bro.
That's fine.
It's a little too much.
That's fine.
I can't throw that out there.
But do you think that that's a? Do you think that affects it though, as far as like, you know, Spotify, Pandora, and everything like that? Because as far as like, you know, I would rather die than listen to a fucking commercial on the radio and stuff like that. Nothing worse than that. So whenever Pandora and like Spotify and shit came out, I immediately went to that, and like I never listen to radio anymore at all. Like I never listen. I never have my radio on whatsoever. It's always the aux cord, and then I just put on regular music or podcasts on my phone because like people don't want to listen to a fucking commercial. I feel like that's the same way with like streaming sites as far as like Netflix, everything like that. People are just paying a little bit more because they don't want to deal with that 30-second ad.
Absolutely.
Every single thing we watch, even videos on Facebook, you know, you watch it, and right whenever the video is about to be real dope, it's like 5-second ad for a fucking car or a mattress or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
The only thing that really keeps the listener tuned into WAMO now is either an incentive, which is,
Tickets, all that.
7 o'clock we giving out French Montana.
You got mad people calling for that still?
Oh yeah, people call. Yeah, for Charlemagne's $10,000 and all that and whatnot. Yeah, people definitely call. But an incentive coming up that third, you can win this, or just a good ass radio personality. Like, hey, I just want to hear what he had to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than that, I'm not hearing the commercials. Put on Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? We're in 2019.
For sure. So that makes sense.
And so basically, when WAMO came back in 2010, a new owner opened it up, and the signal strength wasn't available like what we used to have. Like 100.1. It's not as strong as 106.7, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You go in certain areas, it's staticky as hell. And
yeah, certain areas is fine, but like some areas, like I can't get shit over here.
Yeah. And to be honest, the biggest mistake new WAMO did, and from my perspective, is calling it WAMO when it opened back up.
Yeah.
Because they got some big shoes to fill. I think they should have called it a different radio station.
I never thought about that.
The comparisons are all going to happen. WAMO used to be now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
it
always
used to
going
be
to happen.
crazy
If
because it was the only radio station of its kind back then. So
exactly, like
that's a good point. I never thought about that.
If you'd have called it something else, WGBD, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
People wouldn't have like that high expectation of what it was. That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this. Here's another thing. Like WAMO, when the new owner came back, that name is what was available. So you could actually buy that name. Like that name, like say that name was selling for $50,000. You could open up a radio station. Let's say you invest $1 million.
And I could have just bought that name.
Right, yeah. You go along with investing in the signal and the equipment and the building and everything. You can start your own name, or there's names available, and you could buy that name because you know what I'm saying. WAMO's a big deal in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? Everyone recognizes WAMO, so let me buy that name. That's what they did.
Imagine if they did that and it was just a Christian station called WAMO. People were just listening to that. It's like, geez, you hear Kodak Black on there.
Kirk Franklin, all my brothers in it. Yeah.
It's interesting though. Yeah, I never knew anything about that.
That's why the signal's weak and whatnot. And I mean, we're gonna tell people if you want to hear it clearly, download the app. But I mean, at the end of the day, in 2019, let's be honest. If you're gonna download the app, you're just gonna put on Apple Music.
Yeah, people ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, like
because people want to. I mean, if they're gonna listen to one song, they want to listen to another banger right after that instead of like something that they don't want to listen to. You know,
yeah.
Fucking.
Granted, people definitely still download the app. You know what I'm saying, like maybe like older people and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll see people in like I'll see people out and about at remotes, like people like 50, like, hey, how come they go through the whole spiel. You know what I'm saying? I've heard this question maybe 2,000 times.
What about the signal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
once I hear that, hey, how come once I hear that, that's all I need to know. I know where they're getting at. I'm just getting ready to tell them the answer. So I tell them to download the app and everything. and whatnot. And yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. And I'm like,
I feel like it would be a benefit to listen to the radio show because like that would expose you to new shit for sure. Because like I'll stay with the same old shit. Like I've listened like Biggie, Bone Thugs. That's immediately what it goes to. It's like I don't really listen to anything new. But if there is something new, like people were gassing up that Tyler album. So like I'm not a big fan of him at all. I put it on whenever it dropped, and like I thought it was unreal. Like I was blown away by it. I really was, because I hated all of it. I didn't hate it in the beginning. It's just like I thought he was trying too hard to be like that super dark, like I'm gonna fucking strangle everyone and like fucking these bitches. And it's like you're trying too hard. He was like 18, 19 years old. He's just trying that shock value and everything like that. Granted, he was like one of the first of this generation to like make that work, but like I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it all. But now it's more of like a production. It's like you hear some Pharrell type production in there. You hear like some Kanye type production. And it's like, I don't know. One thing that I hate though with all the new people is that like they don't put any of the features on the tracks. Like I don't know half these fucking people. I just want to know who the fuck is singing and doing them ad-libs in the back, but you can't tell.
Right.
Everything is just capitalized,
everything's
Puppet,
capitalized.
Puppet.
Who do you think was
Igor.
the first person to put all capital song names?
Oh,
I mean, there's no wrong names. Maybe
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to think about that. It's like
trying to think who was the
if you
first
think
one
of all
to
the shit in the back, like way back, like if you think of like Bone Thugs and stuff, like because they're like a pivotal rap group. I always go to that. People usually go to Wu-Tang. It's like I was raised on Bone Thugs and Harmony, like way more than I was on Wu-Tang. So like I remember looking at all their tracks. None of that shit was all capitalized. But I don't know why people do that now. I think Kanye, the first time I seen all that might have been on one of Kanye's. Was it Life of Pablo maybe or some shit? But that's just whenever I first noticed it.
he might have did it on Yeezus, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
what do you think of Kanye? That's a loaded question.
That's a loaded ass question.
Loaded question. What do you? Okay, so before you, so I'm not influenced on you. I think he's a mediocre rapper. I think he is a sensational producer, and I think he's just a terrible person. It's just like I just don't get. I don't get. Man, not a terrible person. That's just hard. But like I don't get the.
He's very hypocritical.
The crew neck hoodies that just say Holy Spirit that he's selling for like $1,000. Like what are people buying this shit for $1,000 for? And it's a Carhartt hoodie that's cut. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me.
I feel that. My outtake on Kanye is, for you, if you don't really know old Kanye, like these kids now who like grew up on Yeezus or
if you,
My Beautiful Dark, I think a good song to really understand the old Kanye is
Family Business.
Yeah, I was gonna say Last Call.
Yeah.
On College Dropout, where it was like 8 minutes long. He was just talking about how he tried to get signed to this person and that person, and he dropped this deal and moved back in with his mom in Chicago. Like he was just talking and whatnot. Like
I like that shit though. It's revealing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I think, and when you say he's a mediocre rapper, I started to understand that a little bit more as I got older. Because like at the time when I was like in 7th grade, like Graduation was the biggest album out, and I'm like, damn, Kanye is so hard. Like that's all I was listening to. But as I got older, I started to realize like he's good, but he's not like his pen is not crazy.
His pen is not crazy. His production and the way he puts shit together as a whole is what's unreal.
Yeah, he's not even the best rapper in this camp. Pusha T raps way better than Kanye.
Yeah, 100%. As far as lyricism, 100%. But as far as putting music together, I can understand that for sure.
And Kanye's production though, like
second to none.
Yeah, bro. Like, and that's one thing. These kids, bro. I'm not trying to be one of them persons to sound like one of them old dudes. Like these kids. The only thing I'm gonna say is like I really hope that they know, like I guess the origin of Kanye. Like a lot of them don't be knowing that he started off as a producer, like with Jay-Z at Rockefeller, and he was trying to like.
How old was he?
At the time, I don't know how old he was.
Was he fucking 18, 19?
He was begging them to just rap for them. Like, you know, it's crazy. So I'm sure you heard of Everyday Struggle.
Yeah.
So you know Wayno, who sits across from Academics?
Yes. Maybe. I think so.
So Academics, the fat troll.
Yeah, I know who he is.
The desk, then Wayno sits on the right. Wayno, he got like a music business background. He used to manage Dave East and whatnot. But anyway, so Wayno, he used to work at Rockefeller Records back in the day, in the early 2000s, in the mailroom. That's how he got put on. And one time he said he was at Rockefeller and he bumped into Kanye, and Kanye was rapping for him. He just said, Kanye said like, "Can I rap for you?" He rapped for him like 8 minutes long. And it's just crazy to think like Kanye was just really out there just rapping for any and everybody, and like
manifesting some shit.
Yeah, he's like the biggest name on Twitter, music culture.
Kanye?
Yeah, everything. You know what I'm saying?
He's the most iconic person.
Yeah.
Easily one of the most iconic of our generation.
Yeah, yeah. But like, it's just crazy to think like how much involvement he's had, like from the early 2000s, like producing all Jay-Z's biggest hits. Like a lot of people don't know that Kanye produced Takeover, like the Nas diss. You know what I'm saying? Like Heart of the City, like a lot of Jay-Z's bangers, and he gave him a chance and started rapping. A lot of Cam's songs and whatnot.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
he's an interesting dude. He's just, I don't know. He's just an interesting dude.
But I'll say my favorite Kanye West album though, it's probably like Graduation and my Beautiful Dark Twisted. Maybe. More recent, I don't really care for Yeezus that much. I understand where he was getting at with it. It was more.
The most recent is Life of Pablo. I love that.
I
don't even know why. I loved it.
I like that. I like that as well.
I thought it was. I thought from beginning to end, I thought it was so dope. Just like all the production on it. Like,
what's your favorite song on there?
Probably Wolves.
Okay.
Either Wolves or like Father Stretch My Hands Part 1.
As a matter of fact, I went to see that tour.
Oh yeah,
in Cleveland.
How crazy was that show?
Crazy as hell, bro. Like,
did he have the floating stage?
Floating stage, yeah. When they put on Black Skinheads, they put that song on off of Yeezus. They put that song on like maybe 5 songs in. That was the height of
the craziness in there.
The craziness in there. Like there was just like 10 seconds where it was like, oh shit, this stadium's about to collapse.
Yeah, my boy Brian has a video. I can't remember where he went, but it was just like that stage. It's just like you just see that stage go over you, and it's like, I mean, it feels like I mean, if you go to a regular small show, sometimes those get crazy. It's like you feel like the shit's gonna fucking fall apart. But imagine all them people just going crazy.
For him,
and
to
the
have
reach he has to all the different people that he does is wild too.
And like for him to be in an arena of like 18,000 and it's still intimate, that's crazy. Like when you get a big arena, you kind of lose intimacy.
Oh, absolutely.
But
you definitely do.
And it started getting weird at the end. People start like praying and shit while he's on stage, like praying to him. I'm like, all right. Like,
yeah, like I don't get the people
weird.
that think he's like a fucking god. I just don't get that.
Yeah, bro. Like niggas, people down there with kids and they're on their knees with their eyes closed praying to Kanye. Like that's ridiculous.
All right. Let's button this up a little bit. I feel like we can just keep going. I feel like you're a
definitely.
You're a.
I'm enjoying it right now.
You're a talker for sure. I'm a talker too. Like I feel I have to have people tell me to shut up. All right. So I'm going to move into the ending segment of the podcast. I do an ending segment with everyone. It's called.
I still want to plug New Wave podcast.
Yeah, you'll be plugging. I got a whole section for it. Actually, let's talk about it a little bit. Right. I want to know. I want to know in the beginning. So you started New Wave podcast
January 2017.
January 2017. Now, whenever you started that, what was your goals with that?
Okay. So my goals, to be honest, I didn't even want to interview like rappers, like for real.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to interview everyone but rappers. Not to like say I'm not fucking with y'all, but because we were so used to, at the time, everyone knew Esco, Deasley.
Same
Hardo,
shit, same people.
Everyone knew that. So
over and over.
There's a lot of people who are creatives who are doing things in different avenues in the city.
Super nice.
And that was my goal, was just to shine a spotlight on them. And that was my goal at the beginning and whatnot. And I started it with one of my coworkers at Champs. We used to joke a lot on like the sales floor and whatnot. He was real cool and whatnot. Yeah. But I never really kicked it with him like outside of work. Like we never really got
he was a different person
anywhere or nothing like that, or chill or kicked it at a party. Nothing. Like, so I should have just more so took my time to really like feel him out to see would this be a good co-host. Because like I'm not saying like my direction is better than his direction. It's just it was different. That's all. I'm not trying to shame. I'm not trying to talk like
if it was
shit.
it's
just a little different.
It's your project. Like you want it to go in your direction.
Right, exactly. So we did a couple episodes and like it just wasn't like flowing properly.
Who was your first episode?
Mike Tomlin, the producer.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He was the first episode. My first couple episodes, I didn't even record them at like anytime you watch the New Wave podcast on YouTube, you're gonna see it in that studio downtown where I recorded at. But my first 2 episodes, I was still like on the other side of WAMO, renting out space and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even have a studio at the time and whatnot. But Mike Tomlin was my first episode. That episode had like had a little bit of structure. It was all right.
Yeah, like did you have a template of like what you wanted to do with your episodes?
Let me see. So at the time, I believe I did want to drop like I wanted to drop every week, but I couldn't afford it because I had to pay for a photographer. I couldn't afford to pay someone to record every week. So I was like, let me probably drop maybe every 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was doing them on SoundCloud. I was putting the episodes on SoundCloud and on Apple, not Apple. I'm sorry, iTunes, and I kind of just wanted to have a template of having a conversation with a guest, just like how you are now. And as I started doing the podcast, it started more so to turn into like an interview rather than a conversation.
Because that's what I get from it. It's like your interviews are like, it's like a radio interview, but it's elongated.
Right, right.
You get more in depth on that level.
Exactly.
And like that's why I think it's different than what like, you know, I feel like there's a line like yours are about like a half hour to an hour, like, you know, like that's like one ballpark of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
My shit will just go way too, like I go way too far. You're not going to get crazy deep on your shit because like, you know, some people don't want to listen to it all. Yours is almost like a Spark Notes version of it all.
Yeah. And then, so as I started like do the interviews at that point in time, I took it upon myself. I started doing a couple podcasts by myself, and then my brother started co-hosting with me in that time frame between maybe like March 2017. But my focus was like my long-term vision for the podcast was like, okay, I just want to create a platform for like this music shit, like not even just rappers, but producers, DJs, like anybody, like that was the music, that was the basis of it. Like I'll do other avenues outside of music, but the base was music. And I'm like, man, like WAMO is WAMO at the end of the day, but WAMO and the New Wave Podcast have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will be asking me, is that WAMO or do you do that WAMO? But they have nothing to do with each other.
That's just yours.
At all. That's completely me.
Yeah.
I just want to create a platform to give people a chance to like, to understand these people, because we know about Stunna 2 Fly, we knew about Jimmy Whopper and whatnot, but we don't know about them. Like, where did they come from? So
yeah, exactly.
I want to personalize it. Like, that's why a lot of times I would just ask questions that had nothing to do with it. I remember one time I asked Jimmy Whopper, like, would you ever like start like a cooking show if you got bigger or whatnot on the Food Network?
Why
like,
not?
I just asked him like questions to humanize him. Like fuck Jimmy Whopper from the Hill.
Yeah.
Of this big giant thought of him
doing music
like,
with Wiz
bro,
Khalifa.
Let's
like,
learn about Jimmy Whopper,
exactly,
the person,
dude.
what he likes to do. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with
That's
that.
that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to like also give the platform to promote and talk about. But at the end of the day, let's personalize it, get to know these people, and let's just have a dope ass platform. You know what I'm saying?
And figure
like,
out how
putting
they
over
think.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Figure out where they're coming from with that.
Yeah.
It's like I could talk to Big Germ about Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller all fucking day. I didn't even bring it up because like, you know, like everyone knows about that. Everyone knows Big Germ works with them, but like I want to know where the shit came from, like how he got into music, why he got into music. You know what I mean? Just like you were saying, like I want to know what makes them. What got them to where they are?
100%.
Like I always promoted as like, you know, this podcast is I talk to creative people about what they do and how they got to that point in life, and like that's basically what it is. It's like there's just people. There's so many people we know about, all these like heavy hitters in the city that everyone knows about, Hardo and you know all these big names, and like there's nothing wrong with that, but like there's 1,000 people that no one knows of them. No one knows of them at all.
A lot.
And it's just like their story is just as interesting. You know what I mean?
So anybody listening, search the New Wave Podcast and search it on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of interviews. I had Jimmy Whopper, Stunna 2 Fly,
Hardo, Drama,
FTR Drama, OE,
PK
Delay, Aaliyah Reyes. Aaliyah Reyes was one of my favorite ones. Anybody out there heard, like a lot of more women will know Aaliyah Reyes, because at the end of the day she has a hair salon. You know what I'm saying? She does nails, hair. The real dope thing about it with the Aaliyah Reyes interviews that she really went to India, you know what I'm saying, got the plug on the hair and was bringing it back. We was talking about
that's
that
dope.
interview, you know what I'm saying?
I fuck with that.
That's why I call her Leah Lucas, because remember in American Gangster, Frank Lucas went to Bangkok to get that get the pure dope.
Yeah, the Frank Lucas.
Yeah, so I call Leah Reyes Leah
to get that real
Leah
hair.
Lucas. You went over to India, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
see, those are the kinds of things that people talk about that I want to learn about, and it's just like it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. New Wave Podcast, though, it's like, so how often are you dropping them? Whenever you can?
Yeah, whenever I can, because I'm happy I don't have a set schedule, to be honest, because the fact that it is a little bit more of an interview, I'm happy I don't have to like, damn, all right, who am I going to interview this week?
Yeah,
I never want to walk. Yeah, I never want to walk into an interview having to interview someone just for the sake of content. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Anytime I ever drop the interview, I'm not gonna say every time. I ain't gonna lie. There's a couple interviews out there. There's probably like maybe a good 3 or 4 that was like,
just filling time.
This was pointless. But the other 37, you know what I'm saying? It was like a mutual, genuine connection. Like, bro, let's build, bro. I love what you doing. You love my platform. Let's make it happen, bro. People want to hear where you come from, your story, and what you got to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, now, last question before we get to this ending segment. Why? What made you have to have a co-host? Like, why did you want to have another person in there?
That's a good question for real.
Because like I don't have one. I know why I don't. It's like I'm stubborn and I'm like a control freak about it. I don't want to have to like share that time. You know what I mean? Because I have things that I feel like I could come up with to ask.
I think like you said in the beginning, my brother just compliments me so well, and I do the same vice versa. Like, no matter the interview, there's always a little something I forget to like bring up, or I forget to talk about this subject from that angle. And the same with him. Like, I wouldn't really do it any other way. Like, I'm sure I definitely could hold it down. I have a lot of episodes where it's by myself.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Reese Youngin one, that got like 9,000 views. That was like a highly watched one. That's by myself. But like at the end of the day, like I like the little strong mesh me and my brother got. You know what I'm saying, with the podcast.
Yeah, the different personalities add to it as well too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it definitely adds to it. It's dope. I mean, like, it's like I have you on here because like I actually listen to it. Like, I listen to this shit all the time. Reese Youngin is definitely, he's been one of my favorites for a minute, and like I just wanted to know where he came from. You know what I mean? That's why I went and found him out.
Yeah,
but,
bro.
It's interesting.
I gotta. I don't know if I do have to actually. Now that I think about it, but I fell off of. No, I should. I changed my mind. I should definitely put the episodes back on iTunes and SoundCloud like it was.
That's what I was. I mean, if I could give you any, like, I'm not doing nothing crazy with this, but like, if I can give you any advice, you have to put them on there. It's like you have to put them on there. The number one reason people unfollow and unsubscribe is breaks in weeks, and it sucks because like if you commit to doing one once a week, it's like you have that, like, I'm fucking doing this shit all the time. You know, I put one out one a week for 72 weeks. It fucking sucks, kind of. Sometimes I don't even feel like interviewing people. You know what I mean?
That's devotion.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to, like, you got to be committed to it. But, like, to build your, now, do you have any problem with it as far as, like, building listeners and shit like that? You think as far, like, if there's, like, a...
yeah, I got a big problem. Everyone watch the Instagram clips, but no one taps the link.
Yeah?
Yeah, like there's a good...
Day Cools was just talking about that.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
His interview was crazy. Like, he's a perfect example. Like, going to the military and shit like that, and just kind of figuring out how he started, because he came up out of nowhere.
Yeah, bro.
It's like I saw Hardo post his shit. I've been banging that whole album over and over again, and he's mean.
That's my favorite.
I hope
that's
you
my
haven't
favorite
forgot
Pittsburgh,
about me.
That's my favorite Pittsburgh album ever.
Yeah, he's super nice. That Tired of Being Tried is like. Whenever you asked him what his favorite track was, and he said that, I knew he was going to say that. I was like, that song is so mean.
Yeah, it is.
I fucking love all that.
Yeah, bro. Like, that's my favorite Pittsburgh album ever. Like, out of any of these artists, and that's.
It's not even hate.
Yeah,
it's just
fuck that. I don't even gotta say that. It's my opinion. That's my favorite.
Yeah, if people are like, oh, what the fuck are you saying? Like, that's
no,
bullshit.
yeah, bro. That's my favorite one, hands down. But yeah, in terms of like the podcast, I just want to keep bringing on like creatives. Like, I'm starting to get outside the box with a little bit more. Like,
I saw you at the real estate,
bro. I can't wait to drop that. As a matter of fact, I don't know what day this podcast is going to come out.
This will come out Thursday.
Thursday. So, or if y'all listening, it's Thursday. That means I dropped the episode yesterday, because right now.
Well, I'll put the link in the description below, so you can just scroll up, and once you're done listening here, you just click on that and subscribe to his shit, and you definitely got to put that shit back on iTunes.
I ain't going to talk about it too long, but long story short, I just had Steve and Chris from Greenwood Property Solutions. They're into the real estate market and everything, and I've been wanting to get into real estate myself in my personal life and whatnot. Like I say, I'm still going to school. My degree will be business with a focus on entrepreneurship. And I'm sure a lot of other people out there who, even if you're not going to school, would love to get into real estate, flipping homes.
They just don't know any information about it.
Don't know any information about it. So, hit that link, and we talk about a lot.
That's dope. All right, so the ending segment I do with everyone is a segment called Desert Island Questions. Desert Island Questions. I give each of my guests 3 categories to take with them on a desert island. For each category, you get 3 choices. So the first category is 3 things to watch on a desert island. So you could pick whole series, you could pick anthologies of movies, you could pick YouTube series, just 3 of your favorite.
Okay. All right, so 3 things to watch. And like I said, the first one's a series?
No, I mean, it could be anything to watch.
Oh,
it could be like whole series. Like if you like The Wire, it could be the whole series of The Wire.
Okay. 3 things to watch. All right. Oh, man.
This is why I ask everyone this shit, because this is where I'm a big movie guy, and I feel like, we talked about your whole life growing up and everything, but like these answers give people a little bit more information about you.
Okay. 3 things to watch. So I'll start with, like, one of them is definitely going to be a movie. It's one of the 2. My favorite movies ever is Collateral.
Oh, with Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise and Jamie
Jamie
Foxx.
Foxx. So sick. That's slept on.
That's slept on. I
Slept
asked
on
people,
movie.
You ever see Collateral? They be like, what?
That's a good movie.
Yeah, my favorite movies is Collateral and Gladiator.
Gladiator's real good too.
Yeah, I like so I'll have to take one of the movies, maybe both. I don't know. A series.
It don't have to be a series. It could
Oh
be
yeah,
anything.
I don't know why I keep boxing myself in with that. Anything to watch. Oh, the first Nipsey Hussle Rap Radar interview.
All right, yeah.
I could just keep watching that and getting inspiration year after year.
I'll give you that whole channel, Rap Radar.
Yeah, bro. Yep. No, switch that channel from Rap Radar to Nipsey Hussle. Any of his interviews. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but to precise, the first Rap Radar interview. So, yeah, Nipsey interview, Collateral, the movie, just I guess like the kill time. Like I can
That's
watch
so
that
good.
movie over and over again. What's something else to watch? It probably have to be another interview for real because I don't really watch TV all like that. Like I guess growing up, my favorite sitcoms was like Martin the Fresh Prince, but like I'm over that now. I laughed at the same part over and over again.
Yeah, 100 times.
I'm not gonna keep laughing. So I'll probably say another interview. I'm just trying to think what's a fire ass interview out there that I like.
That little mama interview, the Breakfast Club.
That was wild.
Charlamagne, he was. That's terrible.
Oh no, a stand up. I got to feel on a stand up. Yeah. My favorite stand up might be like Eddie Murphy Raw was funny.
Eddie Murphy Raw was hilarious. You know what honestly is my favorite? Is fucking Bernie Mac on Def Comedy Jam. Whenever he's wearing the crazy ass
Colors.
outfit. Yeah.
It's like red, yellow.
Yeah, all the different colors.
Yeah.
And he just comes out, he says, I ain't scared of you. Yeah, that's the best. That's my favorite.
She asked me, does pussy taste like pumpkin pie? He said, why would she ask me that? You know I ain't never have no pumpkin pie.
Dude, Bernie Mac was my dude. I fucked with him so heavy. R.I.P. to Bernie Mac. So you had three choices there. So you had stand up. You picked this.
Yeah, we'll roll with a
Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. Like I'm not too sold on that right now. I'm just trying to think of something funny because I gotta laugh every now and then if I'm on an island. You know what I'm saying? I'm stressed out, dehydrated. I need to laugh.
Delirious was good too, though.
Yeah, I like Raw a little bit more. He started talking about like you know what I'm saying like a little bit more grunt.
What was his drunk uncle? He got what's he say? Lillian or something?
Yeah,
like that. Cracked
Lillian.
me up.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy was on top of the world back then.
Yeah, I don't know why he stopped. Like in the 80s, like
imagine being that famous though, where you can't even walk outside and like you ever see a picture of him eating a steak dinner on the back of a model's back in front of like Paris?
Oh no,
dude! Eddie Murphy has a picture of a naked woman laying on her stomach and he's just eating a steak off her back. And like there was a meme that said in the 90s, like this was Eddie Murphy's whole aura in the 90s. Mm-hmm. He was just eating this off of a model's back, but like he hasn't really been doing too much shit now.
Yeah,
he wasn't in jail for a grip from tax evasion.
Yep, I remember that.
Him and Wesley Snipes.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other movies out there? No, those are probably my three.
All right. Second category. You read it all?
A little bit.
You play video games?
Not too much anymore. Like my favorite video games now is probably like the video games where I could just do reckless shit. Like
I ask everyone 3 books to take with them on a desert island. You got 3 books?
Yeah, I just finished a book, The Way of the Superior Man. That was a pretty good book. It was more so. It was I didn't know what it was going to really be about. Like when you hear that title, The Way of the Superior Man, it's kind of like, oh shit, that's hard hitting.
Yeah.
But so basically, what it was ended up being about was like how to master how to master the relationship from the man's point of view and be the best man to your woman. And then the author was like a freak. He started talking about some freaky shit. And, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a pretty good book though.
All right.
Let me see. I haven't read that many books from beginning to end since high school. Like I read Angie Martinez's book.
Was that good?
I loved it. It's way better than Charlamagne's, to be honest with you. I read both of Charlamagne's. Angie Martinez's was so fire. Like I'll tell you this. This is what I learned. So you know the Biggie song 10 Crack Commandments?
Yeah. So
I learned in the Angie Martinez book that when she was at Hot 97, that beat was the soundbite to her show. And it was
really?
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess that's the little intro soundbite to her show.
Did he get that from her?
Yeah. So Biggie was driving around in the car, heard that. He called up to the radio station and was like, Angie, let me get that. And he made 10 Crack Commandments with that beat.
Wow.
When I heard that in the book, I was like, oh shit, I gotta finish this book. This
Yeah,
is
that's
you know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. You know whose book was dope was Gucci's.
For real?
Yeah, I read it. It was fucking mean. I was like, what is Gucci Mane gonna say? Like I'm gonna read this, and all I could think about was ATL freestyle and that whole video, that busted video, him just out there. But that whole book was just crazy how everything came up.
That's crazy. You're not the first person to say that.
Definitely worth reading.
Okay.
And you know, I mean, like I didn't expect nothing out of it. Like I was just like, I'm gonna fucking read it and see where he came from. But
Okay.
nasty. He's a wild dude.
I'm trying to think he's written another book I read. I tried to read The Secret. I didn't really like it. You ever hear that book? Did you read it?
I don't subscribe to that weird shit. Like I can't project that onto myself.
Yeah, like it's mostly about your thoughts become things.
Yeah,
And
like that's
I have too many examples in life
I can't project that
where
to
that
myself.
didn't happen. Like one time I got in a car crash and the guy was driving through the intersection. He hit me from behind, going like 50 miles per hour. He came out of nowhere, and then he hit like 3 other cars, and he drove into a telephone pole and killed himself. Like it was the most random 30 seconds of my life. I was not fucking thinking about that.
Yeah.
So like that's just an example that
It's
my
just
thoughts don't become
not
things.
for
I was
me.
thinking about changing the next song. Like you know what I'm saying?
Thinking about changing the next song.
But yeah, so I mean, granted, like I said, maybe some people do subscribe
all right,
to that,
though.
but not me.
That's all right.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I took a screenshot of 20 books Nipsey Hussle recommends, and I want to dive into that list.
All right,
So-
I'll give you all 20 of them. Take with you on a desert island.
Okay, yeah, period. Yeah, we'll do that.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, last category for this is I'm interested about this. Three albums or 3 CDs to take with you on a desert island. Only 3 though.
Oh, this is easy. First off, Nipsey Hussle Crenshaw, the mixtape. Diplomatic Immunity from Dipset, the one that came.
I was gonna see if you were coming back to that.
Yeah, that's my favorite album of all time. And the third, that's where it gets a little tricky. I need something a little. I need like maybe like a singer, something like a little soulful, because I got my rap and everything. I'll probably let me see. What's a good little? Maybe Sade.
All right, that's a good variety.
Yeah, to be honest,
That's
I don't
good
even know
variety.
I don't know the name of her album with all the hits on it, like No Ordinary Love and Your Love Is King. Whatever the name of that album was, like
That's all right.
I
I'll
need
give you that one. All right,
Those are my 3.
those are good choices. Second to last question is death row meal. So you could eat whatever you want from wherever you want, as much as you want. You can go to different places, just like some of your favorite foods. You ever see them articles before people? It's fucked up. It's kind of morbid. Before people get killed, they give them any meal that they want.
Okay.
So I ask everyone what their favorite shit is.
So I'm going to Capitol Grill and getting a steak with the mashed potatoes and gravy. And
Wow.
I got that last year, bro. I was like,
All right.
damn, this is fire. Like, cause I'm starting to trying to like dive into steakhouses now and whatnot. I never understood how people's last meal could be breakfast. That's bullshit. Like, like some waffles. That's it. You about to get
Some waffles?
the needle after Eggo, my Lego.
After an Eggo?
Fuck that. So no,
That's
like,
a good choice. Steak and everything.
Steak with a potato, maybe like I don't know, whatever vegetable.
At the
Asparagus.
Capitol Grill.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the best steakhouse because I never tried like any Merlots or Roof Chris or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I got
Just a nice steak.
But yeah, I
with
think-
all the shit on it.
and some wine, a red wine. I'm not no wine connoisseur, but I drink a good amount of wine. You know what I'm saying?
I can't get into that.
I can't do white wine. It makes my inside of my mouth like kind of not swell up, but sore. Like my gums,
weird.
my tongue. Like if I drink a Moscato, it'll start feeling funny. But if I drink a dark red wine,
That's a good choice.
We
though.
there.
Steak dinner with some wine. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Last question that I ask everyone is: if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Nipsey, 100%, bro. First of all, just to give like a little backstory, like I always knew about Nipsey like since 08, you know what I'm saying? But I never really started listening to him until 2013 when Crenshaw came out. Like, and when I heard that mixtape, like along with him dropping, a lot of people who don't know him, they don't know that he dropped a mixtape and he was selling it for $100. But at the same time, you could also grab that mixtape for free. But the reason he was selling it for $100 because it was called the Proud to Pay campaign. He was proud to pay, and there was a couple of other like little things you got with that package as well. But he got. I remember hearing he got
I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yeah. So like he got the idea from this guy who was selling cheesesteaks in Philadelphia for $100, and it was creating this buzz. And Oprah went and got one, and Jay Leno went and got one.
That's
and,
dope.
And
Proud
everyone
to
was
pay.
asking, why is this cheesesteak worth $100? Like, so he implemented that idea into his like music, and he was also saying like at the end of the day, you can't really put a price tag on music. Like Basquiat the stencils he used wasn't worth $1 million.
Yeah.
But the paintings go because that's the value that he wanted it to go. That's the value he holds inside.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? So Nip, like, he was selling it for 100. It was the Proud to Pay campaign, and people, he said, like, hustlers was pulling up on him, buying 5 at a time, maybe 10 at a time, giving him a whole 1,000 because they was like, yo, I really fuck with the vision. And he was saying fuck the middleman because he wasn't signed to no one.
Yeah.
So I'm selling my mixtape for $100. I pocket $100. I'm gonna reinvest that back into myself or whatnot.
That's
And
dope.
So yeah, but that's just like the icing on the cake of why I fucked with that mixtape. It's more so just like the sampling in there, the music, the beats, the messaging, the bars, everything. You know what I'm saying?
He would be a good person to talk to for sure.
Definitely, bro. He was so like he was so open to ideas. Like, you don't really see people who are very successful but still so open, like, to people. This person's in cryptocurrency, or like, bro, he was trying to open up that STEM program to shuttle underprivileged youth from Crenshaw to Silicon Valley. It was Vector 90. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think I heard about that.
yeah, so he had a program to like people who were doing very good in school, but they didn't have the finances to maybe go to college or learn these things. He was trying to shuttle them for free to Silicon Valley to learn.
That's wild.
To learn, to further their education or whatever they're about to get into and whatnot. Yeah, bro, Nipsey. I can go on and on, but I'll talk to Nipsey over Barack Obama. I'll talk to Nipsey over Jay-Z. Like, Nipsey, hands down. I like these flags that's tattooed on my elbow is because of that album. I got these tattooed on me in 2015. It was just basically the parallel that, like, your life's a marathon and whatnot. So you're gonna go through ups and downs. It's not a race. You know what I'm saying? You see someone past you see someone behind you. Don't
pay attention.
Don't try
to
to compare yourself.
Yeah.
They're in their own lane. Life's a marathon. As long as you finish that race and get to your end result, that's all that matters.
I fuck with that.
Yeah. So Nipsey, hands down.
All right, dude. I appreciate you very much.
Granted, hold on, one more thing.
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
at the end of the day, I would talk to my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm talking. But yeah, like, I'm trying to paint the picture.
See,
like,
I always tell people. You
that's how I'm
usually go
thinking,
for a
like-
loved
like,
one.
yeah.
People usually go for a loved one. Like, I would talk to my grandfather, but if it's not a loved one, like,
that's not like,
you know what I mean?
That goes without saying. Like,
Yeah, like,
I'm
if
talking
it's-
about
it's not a-
celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's when you said dead or alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew. Yeah. So I was thinking of only out of a
That's all right.
celebrity pool. You know what I'm
That's all
saying?
right. Yeah. If it's not a loved one, we got to clarify. All right. So take a second, promote anything you want to promote.
Yeah, so you can follow me if you're listening, man. I appreciate you because I know podcasts. It's a long ass conversation. So if you're still listening right now, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in.
This ain't nothing new for people. All my shit is this long.
Period. My name's Nigel. You could follow me on Instagram at Nige412. That's NIGE 412. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to build. I'm just trying to get. I want to get to New York. You know what I'm saying? Pursue media. I want to go all the way with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's radio or whether I'm doing something behind the scenes at a music label, but I want to go to New York because I feel like I got something to contribute to the music industry.
Absolutely.
So like, just continue to support the New Wave podcast with me and my brother Brennan. WAMO 100 doing my thing on Sundays from 3 to 8, but from 7 to 8, that's the local hour. You can submit your music. It has to be a clean version to Nigel@WAMO100.com or just hit me on Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I appreciate you for bringing me on here, though. Yeah,
Absolutely, dude. I've been waiting for it for a minute. All the links are going to be below. You could scroll right up. You can find me on I'll Call You Right Back on Instagram. I'll Call You Right Back across the boards. Email me if you got some people you want me to talk to on here. I'll call you right back at gmail.com. I appreciate everyone listening.